Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order the September 6th regular Park and Rec Board meeting. Nicole, could you please call the roll?
Sure. Caroline Cornelia.
Okay. Here.
Tammy Lavenda.
Here.
George Ortel.
I'm here.
Patty Roberts.
Here.
Nicole Sussman. Here. An alternate, Deb DeCosmo, not here. And then city manager interim, Kyle Riefler.
Here.
Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you.
The last names.
The second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from August 18th, 2022 Park and Rec Board meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the meeting notes?
I move that we approve the meetings.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 3, citizen comments. We don't have any citizens today, so we'll skip right on to number 4, which is, Kyle, if you can give us a quick recap of the...
Wait, we missed something.
We did?
Approval of the agenda and then the approval of the minutes. But she has it. Oh, yeah. So I'll just need an approval of...
Oh, I guess I didn't approve today's agenda.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's my bad. A motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Oops, sorry about that. I was
No
getting
worries.
ahead of myself.
Just make sure I
I'll
copy
have to
it.
see you moving around like that.
Okay, go ahead.
I need to put my glasses back. Now you can go, Kyle. Sorry.
Here's an update of our action list.
So this is from, like, usually at least once or twice a year, the Park and Rec Board splits apart all the 13 parks and we do surveys, good, bad, ugly pictures. And that meeting usually takes longer because some people have more detail or whatever. There's more things going on in the parks that they surveyed. So Kyle then put together this action list, and I think you guys have seen it once before, so.
Yeah, so some of the things we still have to do, we've made a couple attempts to paint the water fountain, but it's been on days where the rain's rolling right up, so we haven't quite got there yet, but that's right around the corner. Some things that we got to plan, probably when it cools down just a little bit, is all the shell and the landscaping. That's mostly what you're seeing in the orange there. And then some other, just like trimming at sea grape and some adjustments to the landscape beds. So kind of want to do that all at once. We'll order like a big load of shell and then kind of disperse it around the city.
When do you think that'll be, like November? Do you have a time frame in mind?
I want to say like maybe October. Getting, just depending on how it all goes, you know, the grass starts slowing down a little bit and then getting close to the end of this hurricane season. I think that's a good time period to tackle that. We do have the bike rack. We did move it where, you know, that's something we're planning on kind of repainting or something to make it look better. And we're gonna demolish the existing playground. That's gonna be in January because we're on back order for the actual new one. So we didn't really want to get rid of it until we are like right around the corner and putting the new one in. But that's something, at that time we'll address that walkover. Possibly getting rid of that just because it's deteriorating. I don't think it's worth putting back because it'll be quite expensive. And it doesn't really serve a purpose.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I know when we first started on this, like, I guess with Nicole and I and George, it was a big deal about that easement through, and then it kind of like dropped off with the city council and no one really brought up that easement again.
Oh, the paving one.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, I mean, and they were looking at 2 or 3 different things and I keep seeing the paving, and then I heard it's coming up again and it's in council meetings and it never really made our radar because when it dropped off, you know what I mean? So I didn't know, like, are we just completely out of that or like?
No, because we still have money in our capital projects for it. Once we get underway.
So the money's been budgeted for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say like at least a couple years now.
How much is it?
I don't have the budget in front of me.
Is it like 50,000, 100,000?
But for all of it,
Yeah.
it's probably 200 or more in asphalt.
Wow.
But if we, I mean, depending, because the prices went up, that we got a quote for it all together, but we were gonna break it off with each road project or stormwater project as we're in that area to kind of save on the cost, drop some of the mobilization off. But in that time, the pricing in general, because of inflation, has gone up. So I think it's probably, if you chunk it out, it's still gonna be close to 200,000 at this point because, again, our prices have gone up so much.
Now, was that voted on, like, for it
It
to
never
pass?
was, well, it was voted on to save for in the budget. It was never voted on. So the first segment would be between 13th and 14th while we're there. So that's kind of like, we're trying to get this project underway, just getting through some conflicts with utilities. What I would do is get a proposal at that point from Kaminga, which is the contractor, just to see what they'll do it for while they're out there with their paving company. And then I would have to bring it to council for approval. I'm sure there's gonna be, I don't know in that area so much, but it may be just in general. I know that there's people that do not want that paved.
Yeah, I mean, there
So-
are definitely people that do. It's going to be like the buoys, and I didn't know. Like, this is the way I think about it. If city council has 5 people out of 7 that want to run on that trail, then it's going to pass. And if no one is, you know what I mean? Like, because I know there's residents that are like dead set against it. And I've just kind of been randomly asking people, like, are you a runner versus a biker or whatever? And they'd be like, well, I'm a runner, but I'd never run on it because I'd be afraid I'd get hit by a bike, because if that's open, because people don't want to ride their bikes on the bike trail on Gulf Boulevard because you see too many people on their phones, and at least I'm afraid I'm going to get hit by a car. But at least if you're running, you can run on the sidewalk, but the bikes aren't supposed to be on the sidewalk. And so they're like, I'd be afraid to run on it because of the bikers that don't want to be on Gulf Boulevard. And you just hear all these like different, everybody has their opinion. So I just didn't know if like you were going like ask the Park and Rec board, or because it was kind of before us, and I just didn't, with it being $200,000 and we still have streets that are flooding. Like, and there's so many projects that are like, we don't have the money, we don't have the money, we don't have the money. But then you have $200,000 for something that, how many residents are actually going to use that? I don't know. It could be everyone or it could be no one. I don't have a clue. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so there's a
Clarifying that for the rest of us.
It is a walking easement that the cities had, and I think originally it was for to provide an alternate means of access. It was 10 feet wide. People use it all the time.
Where is it? Where is
It's so it's like it starts in the south of the city, and so you have First Street, and then you have Harbor Drive. So it kind of runs like in parallel with Harbor Drive, or a continuation between each, First, Second Street, and you got Harbor Drive, that section there, and then you got to go all the way back out to Gulf Boulevard, or there's a walking easement that's 10 feet wide. That's probably, I don't know, 100 and something feet that gets you to 3rd Street.
And
it's
then
in
you wonder
between
how
the
many
houses.
residents don't even know about it.
I don't know about it because I'm on, what do they
Yeah.
call it, north versus south? I'm on the north side.
Yeah.
Well, there's an easement there too,
Yeah,
right?
you're right north of it all. So it goes all the way. So on this side, it goes from 2nd Street. It's between 2nd and 3rd, between 4th and 5th, between 6th and 7th, and then 8th and 9th. And then it takes you down here, where you would have to come walking by the building up here. And that's where it gets just interesting too, because there's no real safe way to cross Causeway, but
Run.
so a lot of people turn and go that
Look
way.
both ways and run.
Yeah, most people don't go all the way that way. They turn and go out of here. So, and then it continues. We've talked with the county of possibly putting the path officially on their pond over here, getting an easement with the county, because the pond is the county's land, and then the property line for that house is kind of like, you can see where they differentiate. So then you would either have something or not, depending on what the county says, to take you to 12th Street, and then it goes 13th to 14th, 14th to 15th, because up on this side it's just single streets. So it goes from each cul-de-sac all the way up to 18th, and it never connects to 19th, because Just, I don't know, they tried to resurvey it and the property just never permitted it to go all the way. It would be nice to go all the way to 19, but it didn't, because we had it resurveyed.
So it's pretty broken up, no matter what.
It kind of is. I mean, it's convenient for people who live on the end of the streets that want to get down to Causeway Boulevard. And I think initially the easement was intended for utilities and emergency services.
But like some of them, like the 10-foot wide path is as close to someone's bedroom window as me to you. So like obviously they bought the houses knowing they had an easement in the backyard, but when they bought them, it wasn't paved either, right? It's never been paved.
Some people have walls only, and some people have, you know, their 6-foot tall fence. If they wanted to do a living hedge, they could go to 8 feet.
Yeah.
But
well, by
I
Second
don't
Street
think
by me,
people
they
are-
have nothing. So like you're literally staring into their whatever window it
Not supposed to
is.
look that way. Looks straight ahead.
I don't walk it. I mean, I may have been on it 5 times, but I just, so you wonder how many residents don't know about it even though it's been talked about in council meetings for years, you know,
Yeah.
if it doesn't pique your ear, or if you have no clue where it is or what it is, you know, it's,
That was,
Right, if you didn't live there, you might never know it's there.
yeah.
A lot of people do use it though, from Indian Rocks, although, you know, you see people, right, walking and.
And that's the problem. That's
Well, that's why they're like, I guess they used to have it, it was more active years ago, and I don't know the reason why it was more active, but I was told it caused nothing but problems because like people don't have eyes on back there, it's dark.
Well, it's not supposed to be open at nighttime.
But you can't close it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a gate or a fence, it's open 24/7.
Right,
So it's
just
behind
there.
your house.
It's not behind my house. It's behind. It's like if you go off of Gulf and you turn on Second, right before you see Second Street Park, it's literally right next to that person's driveway, and so it cuts between everybody's houses. And then some people built their fence over it, so there's encroachments, if you know what that is, over the walkway because it's never been paved, it's never been shelled, it's never been like a formal. So if you do use it, it's muddy, it's gross,
It's got roots.
it's got roots that you can trip on, you know. So it's not I don't think it's a pleasant walk, which is why I don't. If it was paved, you know, maybe the people that do walk it would think it was more pleasant. But it's $200,000. So you're like, how many residents would use it and know about it to make it worth that spend versus whatever else you have in your budget?
Can I ask a question on that? So just pause there. So if they approved it for the budget, say for 2022, and you don't spend it in 2022, do you have to go through a re-approval process for the following year to reprioritize other items, or what's the?
So it's like in the capital savings plan, so the money, say that year of the approved budget got set aside.
Yeah.
For the next year's proposed budget, either you add more to that savings plan or you don't, but it still has some budgeted. So it accumulates depending on how many years that budget goes and moves money into that pot. But at any point, it can be reallocated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to Tammy's point, if they were to decide, hey, look, we.
Yeah, it's not, so all it is on a savings program that's setting it aside. So it's assigned, say. It's not an unassigned fund where it's just money we have.
Right.
It's assigned in the capital.
You don't use it or lose it type
Right.
of thing, it carries over.
Right, and you don't actually spend any of that money until you actually do the project.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Like I'm trying in my mind to be empathetic because it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't have, my house isn't right there. It's like you've got to walk like 6 houses down before you even get to the beginning of it. So I try to be empathetic for the people that want it and the people that absolutely don't want it. I think it's going to be like the buoys.
Yeah, I think so too. I've always kind of seen this, like 2 years out, you know, back. I was like, oh, this is going to
But
be
if
something.
they already
that comes up.
approved it, are they gonna go through that again? Like that whole citizen comment and,
What are we talking about, the walkway?
Yeah,
Well, it's only been approved like to save for it. It's not been approved
to do
to
it.
execute it. Yeah.
Okay, all right, got it. So
there used
there's
to
a
be a
toll
lot of
gate for
interest
that.
in that, the pathway all the way to the north end. 2 administrations of Parks and Rec And those are the people that used it on Park and Rec, and I think they got on to the Park and Rec committee just to push that.
To influence
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay.
But that was at least three administrations ago.
9
And
years.
there hasn't been that much interest since they were no longer
Yeah.
involved.
I have another question. What is the key? Like, what do the colors mean on it?
Oh, that's kind of more internal. So like say the blue ones are done.
Finished?
Yeah, finished counting towards that 72% completion. The green is like, it's happening, just, it's in the budget, like it's going to happen. The pink is kind of like, it's gonna happen in the future, but this is kind of like my color coding. It's going to happen in the future, but that's kind of like planning on a timetable. And then the orange is like, the yellow is going to be most immediate, and the orange is definitely going to happen just like once we
Okay.
get past it. Yeah, I know, it's kind of makes more sense in my head.
No, that's good. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions on this chart, or like would the easement walkway that we were just talking about, would that end up on this or not really, because it's just separate?
No.
Okay, this is just from our surveys.
So that first piece is going to be like, hey, here's the price to do this part of that easement. We have money in the budget. Do we want to do it? And that's when it's gonna.
Okay.
We're gonna find out what people really want.
Okay, perfect.
So is it important for us to voice an opinion on that? What do we think about what yard or not? I mean, it doesn't seem like we're very enthusiastic, this group here, about the.
Sure, that's up to you guys. If you feel strong one way or the other, you can say, hey, as the Park and Recreation Advisory Board, we don't think, based on what we know and people we talk to, we
It
don't
just
think
seems
it's a
very
great.
expensive for the
Sure.
amount of use it's getting now or potential use it might get. So I don't feel like it's a valuable use of our money personally.
Very expensive for the number of people.
That's why I asked the question about the budget and whether it rolls over, because it almost feels like for those big capital expenditures that it makes sense that you scratch it. You know, if it's not urgent enough that you do it within that fiscal year, then you scratch it and you go through the approval process again. But I'm sure that's something city council has rules on. They have a budget committee, I guess. Do they have a budget committee or?
Yeah, well, that's Citizens Advisory.
Okay, Citizens
Board.
Advisory.
Yeah,
okay.
our committee, they function as the budget committee
Okay.
as well.
We can always let them, I can say something, that guy sits near me at every city council meeting.
Yeah.
I think if it's not urgent enough that it carries over into the next year, then maybe we should relook at it and reprioritize, like something else becomes more important in that, in that year.
Yeah.
Like for urban street flooding, right, yeah.
And to this point, it's only been talked about, okay, we'll get a price on it and doing it with the stormwater project. So this would be the first time it actually would be addressed to, are they going to move forward with it or not? So depending on, I bring a proposal to them. For a lot of them, it's got to line up with the strategic plan. It's got to make sense. And I don't know if this is where they want to go. So they might just say, hey, make a decision at that point.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any other comments on this? No? Okay, perfect. So, agenda item number 5, September 3rd beach cleanup. So we had 3 Park and Rec Board members there this Saturday. Whoop, whoop. Thank you guys for coming. We had 15 people total, which was really good for a holiday weekend because you never know, what you're going to get. And so, yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad this time, but, you never know what you're going to get with that either. So it was just kind of status quo, I would say. Didn't sell any Bellear Beach merchandise because the people that were interested were like, oh, I didn't bring a wallet, which is totally fine. At least they know that they can come now to City Hall and buy it. So it's more like visual, what colors, what do they look like without coming up here. And kind of going through it all with Laura. So that saves her some time. They can just go, hey, I want the gray t-shirt in a large or whatever. But we did get to talk to the whole group about the chili cook-off. And so Kyle had printed out some of the instruction sheets and the sign-up sheets, and there was some really good interest. So just a way to, like, you know, get the conversations rolling, maybe talk to your neighbors, you know. We're just going to keep getting it out there and see what we get. And then I took some tickets and we put it on the little sign with the pricing saying, you know, every ticket's $10 and you get this X or whatever. So it went well.
Do you have one of those I printed, or did you get rid of them all? The sign-up sheets.
Oh, I thought you were going to print them out.
Let me just print one so they...
Okay, well, they all saw it. Patty emailed it to all of them.
Okay,
So
yeah,
they've
I
all
did.
had eyes
Yeah,
The
on.
most creative, there were 3 categories. I saw that.
That's right, we did,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they've all had
And you
eyes.
said
They have
what you
it.
needed to bring, like you needed to bring the crock pot and your ladle and all that. Yeah. Are we gonna post in that, I finally got on that Bel Air site, the Bel Air Beach Facebook site?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start posting on that. How long do you normally do that in advance of the event? Like a month prior?
Well, okay, so a month prior, it opens up to everyone. So we're going to probably do it about 2 months prior. And Kyle and I were
What's that general?
kind of working on the layout of the room, which even in the 15 minutes or 10 minutes that we looked at it, we changed it 9 times. So it's all going to
I
vary.
wasn't even there.
And you weren't there, George. George is our table mover. So we're trying to, like, you know, so like these tables, we're trying to figure out, it will all depend on how many chili entries we get. Like whether or not we put like the community foundation table at the bar, and, you know, we were thinking about the lines because we don't want the lines for the bar. If there's a line for the bar, there may not be a line. But in most places, that's where the line forms, especially in the beginning. So, you know, it's like here are the tables for people to sit and eat their chilies. And then, you know, around will be the chilies, and then we'll have tables outside if the weather's permitting. So this is going to change 100 times, but just here's an idea if you know, for Kyle's
And
little...
how many would that allow? How many different kinds of like chilies per table?
Well, we'd have about 2 crock pots per table, and allow about 20 contestants, participants.
So yeah, if we get between 20 and 30 people, you know what I saw? Like, this is not like, it would be a weird thing to ask people to bring. It was for a home chili cook-off. But okay, so you think there's 20, 30 chilies. Who is going to eat? You know, I mean, you could, like, I don't know. Like, you start at table 1, and it's like, who's going to get to table 30? It's so much chili. But they had, you know, like in the pans that you make cupcakes in? Mm-hmm. So, like, people literally had them like school lunch trays, and they went around, and like, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so they got 12 samples of chili on the same tray, and then went back and sat at their thing. And I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool. But how can we, like, I mean, we can't ask people to bring their cupcake tin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was trying to think. It's like, oh, so Kyle did find some hot cold cups in the same size. So like that'll take care if there's a temperature issue. But it's like, it's literally, you can hold 2 of those at a time. Go back to your table. Go get 2 more. Go back to your table. So we're just gonna hope for the best, and hopefully, like, the first 10 tables aren't out of chili in the first hour, and then the other side of the room is still like overflowing because no one got to them.
What I did at my last one, people walk around and see which ones they want to choose.
Yeah.
Because I have certain things I won't eat. You know,
Yeah.
I want to eat a lamb chili or something. You know, we all have our preferences. Or you don't want something super hot, or you're gluten free, or whatever, right? So you just kind of you go around and you see what's there, and then. But I love the idea of the muffin tin. We can if you post that on Facebook, or I can post it on the Facebook page, and just show a picture. Like, feel free to bring your muffin tin. It'll make it a lot easier to carry around.
All your samples. Yeah, I thought that was
I think
ingenious.
It is. It's a great hack. I love it.
So, yeah. So we just got asked to post in the, which newspaper?
It's like that neighborhood news.
So I did write
The bee one?
Not the bee,
Not the
the
beach
little,
bee?
the white one.
Yeah.
the one with the heavier paper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So I did write up a blurb for the Halloween event because that's before the chili cook-off. So when it comes to it, I will put something together for the chili cook-off, and we'll put it in there. Nicole always posts on Next Door Neighbor app, Facebook page, So yeah, we'll definitely keep posting there. And then again, it's just kind of word of mouth, like us, our neighbors, you know, just, and then they'll tell people and they'll tell people, and hopefully it'll go from there. So Kyle, I think, is going to give everybody 20 tickets today.
Yes.
And so what I
It's
did,
going to be 10
people.
10 people. 10, yeah.
Yeah, and I already have my 20 tickets. So like, I'm going to sell mine. I'm going to bring the money in. I'm going to get more tickets. I'm going to sell mine. I'm going to bring the money in, get more tickets. And then Patty is going to sell them. We're going to put it on the sign. But like, it's great because we all live at different parts of the city, different ends of the city. And Nicole and I know we live right next door to each other, right across the street. But we're going to be able to hit, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I, you know, pretty much in our group, we have friends that like do. So I'm going to say, hey, you know, kind of, here's some information sheets, pass them around, and then, you know, have them call here or have them call, I think my number's on there. And just to try to get the word, because again, we can put it on the big sign, we can post it everywhere, but not everyone's on that page. Not everyone looks at Next Door Neighbor app. Not everybody sees the sign because when you're driving. So we're just going to have to try to hit as many people as possible. And then, you know, if you don't sell them, you just bring them back. It is what it is. But like, you know, we're going to do our best to try to, you know, because it's our first event ever that we're selling tickets to. So we got to see what works and what doesn't work.
And we're going to print the tracker too, right?
Yes. So I put a tracker together and it just says, I'll have Patty or Kyle email it out to you guys. It just says,
print it right now and get the tickets.
Okay.
And you can talk about it that way. I'll have it.
okay. So it's just a basic tracker. So it'll say Tim and Tammy Lavenda, and then it'll say wine preference, beer, wine preference, non-alcoholic. And then there was one more thing I don't remember, so it's a good thing he's printing it out.
Paid or not paid?
Beer, soda, water.
Yeah, it was non-alcoholic. It was that. So beer, wine, non-alcoholic. Oh,
You
and
didn't do wine, right? Didn't
well, you know, we voted on wine. City council voted on wine, and then I talked to like a group of like 10 women. They're like, I don't drink any beer at all. So then we are going to have some wine for just non-beer drinkers, because I know a lot of girls that don't like beer.
I don't like beer, but I can't stand it. Like if the tannins in the wine just don't go with chili.
Yeah, I get
You
it.
have to find the right kind of wine to go with it, and it's like if you mix, you know, a normal like Cab or Merlot with the tannins and chili, ugh. Even I can't do that. And
I'm not a wino, so I would have no
I'm a wine
idea.
person, but anyway, people are drinking it. We just have to make a good choice. I don't know what's the right.
Well,
You're gonna do red. You're gonna do white.
We're gonna do
it's
one
like
of
you get
each.
All of those.
yeah, and we're going to do like, it's not going to be anything. We're not going to be serving $50 bottles of Napa Cab. We're going to be serving 10 or 12 dollar bottles of a California, maybe like Sonoma, if we can get it for $10 or $12. Like no one is going to expect like fine wine at the chili cook-off. So it's not going to
Costco
be.
has some very, very good wine for $12 a
Yes.
bottle. You do
Right.
not need to spend just Costco. They have great wines.
Yeah, but we don't have, well, okay. So
We
when
have
Lynn
to buy
was,
local here.
when Lynn was here, Lynn had a Sam's Club membership that we could use through the city. So like if we needed bulk, they would go to Sam's Club. I, again, gave my Costco spiel many times and they're like, we can't do Costco. How about I do Costco and you reimburse me? No. So we've already gone down that road and
Okay.
like, you know, obviously it might change because Lynn's not here, but, Kyle's only point that he's made over and over is, and the reason why I put it on the tracker is like, it'll help us to know how many people are coming, how much beer and wine we need. Like, because it's like, say if only 6 people check the wine box, then we know we only need like 2 or 3 bottles of each one. Cause he's like, I don't want to be stuck with all this stuff extra. There's nothing we can do with it. And so I'm like,
You save it for the only other thing you can do. We talked about that, though. You can save it for the next event. Like we have a couple events. The bad timing is when you don't have another event for 6 months.
we don't have any other events where we have a wine license. We're not, there's nothing else where we're getting the insurance or the license to just have it. So we do have events, but we're not having liquor or wine.
But didn't we vote not to do wine? Like I'm so confused.
We voted originally to do it. We talked about
Okay.
not having
And
it
the
because,
last time we were here, I could swear that we talked about not doing wine and only doing beer, and now we're going back to doing wine.
well,
It's like-
yeah, we are. And it's, I don't think it was an official vote. We kind of talked about it. I think you said, I don't drink wine with chili. And we're like, oh yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. But then
We
like,
talked about her husband was here, what's the
and he
problem?
wants gluten-free.
Right, we're gonna have gluten-free
Okay,
beer
Kyle.
and-
So what are we talking about?
We're
She-
talking about that, I feel like I'm a new member, so I just wanna make sure that we have the right kind of rules in place, because this board is governed by sunshine law. So I wanna understand, the notes didn't have any of this in here. We had the dialogue, we weren't gonna have wine. Then we talked about having gluten-free beer, because your husband was here saying can we just get a few bottles of gluten-free beer, even cider, we talked about hard cider. And now we're going back to having wine. And then I understand we can't buy the wine at Costco, we can only buy the wine at Sam's Club, like where does it say that? So I just want like proper documentation. If the board makes a decision, we vote on it, we're not gonna have wine.
I don't think we voted. I think it was just a
Yeah.
It was a
discussion.
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 But so why do we just reopen it, like just
Well,
because you
yeah.
have 4 girlfriends that drink wine?
It
just
wasn't
seems-
my girlfriends. It was
So
like a
who-
group of
who did
people.
it? So we're now gonna have wine for 4 people that only drink wine.
So you can go back to the city council voted on a beer and wine event. And we had a second discussion
Okay,
about
so
it.
that's why we're doing it. So we're going back to reverting to the original decision, which is harder to execute on because now we're gonna have some red, some white, how many bottles, we could have leftover. It's a pain to do that. And now
I guess we can see what we come up with this, right? Like what they choose, and then go
can make a
like off
decision
of that.
down
Because
the
like
road.
right now it's like wine, no wine. I think this will be the tale. Like this will tell us like true facts. Like this amount of people paid to have wine and whatever. That's just
Yeah.
my thought on it, because I don't drink any of that, so I have no idea. So
Right.
yeah, that's
We can
kinda
see what
how-
comes back with the tickets and do that.
Right, but it's more important to me that like we document things, and that because we had this dialogue, it had to take 20 minutes last time when we talked about getting the cider and getting gluten-free cider, and then none of that's documented in our notes. And now some group just decides to change everything and have wine again, even though we talked about not having wine. So I just prefer that we have documentation for what this group decides rather than, so we don't
It was
change.
kind of a discussion. I mean, if you want to take an official vote at this point, I don't know.
I
if it
think we
was-
did vote.
We just talked about it, but we didn't
Yeah.
officially like set it in stone, because in the last meeting we still were going through ideas and we got input from the outside, and it was just kind of like, no, we didn't like land on like this is what we're
Yeah.
set with. So now I see your point, but I think for what we have is just like we should try to go forward and see, and then just if we want to vote on it, we'll just vote on it.
Right.
Okay, and so we can't buy wine any place other than, so then a comment was said, I said we can get great wine at an affordable price at Costco, we can't buy at Costco.
No, I
Is that
explained to her, I
true?
remember Kyle explained the Lynn
Well, 'cause-
situation.
The city itself doesn't have a membership, so for us to get our tax exempt and purchase with our credit card, we need a membership.
Okay, so you only
Lynn
have a
used to
membership.
have a Sam's membership, and that's how we did it. So you purchase for the city through a Sam's membership.
Okay, so now that he's not here, can we open that, or like,
It wasn't actually, he just used his membership to be able to purchase there. It wasn't an actual city membership.
okay, so what are we gonna do to buy the wine? Who's gonna buy the wine, where do we choose to buy the wine,
Well,
where do we buy the
that's up-
beer?
Up for discussion, really. I think we
Who
were,
has to decide that, this group or the city council?
I think we make a recommendation to city council one way or the other.
Okay,
Well, no,
yeah, I mean, something like that, I mean, we're not gonna overcomplicate it. We're just gonna find a vendor to buy the wine. If there's preferences within this group, you can make recommendations, we can decide that way, but
okay.
yeah, as long as it's a reasonable price and it works for us purchasing so much, not having too much surplus, it's gonna work okay.
And you have to understand, because this is our first time doing anything with beer and wine, that there are going to be lots of discussions, and it's going to change 6 times, and we're not going to hard vote on it until we get closer and we kind of get a feel. But when we presented to City Council, when we talked about it for months, it was a beer and wine event. So
Right.
one time it comes up where, you know, and I understand, but if you talk to 30 people, you're going to find someone who only drinks White Zinfandel, someone who can't have gluten, someone. So it's like, it's not our preferences on what we drink. It doesn't matter what you drink with, or what with chili,
didn't
or
say
you.
that.
No, I'm just saying, or me, or her,
and
or.
Dave got up and said, why are we ordering wine? Nobody drinks wine with chili, and that's what's on the whole discussion. My issue is not whether we have wine or not. My issue is that we're not documenting what our decisions are and what we're talking about. Like, there was nothing in the minutes about a 20-minute discussion about having gluten-free, non-gluten-free. So we're like not documenting stuff. And that's no insult to you. I just feel like we're just not documenting it. And there's been other things that have not been in the meeting minutes that I know we talked about. And like even right now, we jumped all over the place. We didn't talk about the brick walkway. We jumped ahead to the chili cook-off. We didn't talk about the Halloween event. So we're not like documenting stuff, and that I'm a person that I really need to be able to go back and see, okay, well, this is what we talked about at this meeting, and this is what we decided. And so can the citizens. That's all.
Okay, well, yeah, so we're a little bit off the agenda right now, and we can.
And I
we'll
don't
get
even
back
remember
on
how
it
we
with
got
the-
there.
Because you're
I
talking about
think
beach
it's the
cleanup
tickets
and
and-
saying how
Oh,
we're gonna
that's
sell
how we got
tickets
there. And then,
and
yeah.
the social media.
So I didn't really mean to take it off topic, but we did kind of give a presentation on the chili cook-off at beach cleanup. So anyway, does anybody have anything else
Beach cleanup.
on beach cleanup? Okay. So item agenda number 6 is the brick walkway location recap. So Kyle, I'm going to.
So I came up with 3 different options, sort of like we talked about, and I laid them out. I think, well, let me just present them and you guys can decide. But so the first one was sort of, well, this is kind of the original, what we talked about, like a 1 or 2 brick border along the path/circle. I'll pass it around. And I kind of wrote out like how many bricks, you know, for that span. If you did like a 2 brick border, which would be 1 foot of brick, you'd be at 198 of total bricks. This one was more of like sort of an extension off the circle. I guess the purpose would be something, you know, for the wedding rentals or something like that. It would give like a little standing area. But this one was a 10 by 20 foot area, which would be roughly 900 bricks, which is a lot. And then the last one, which kind of came up late, but it was a good idea about putting pavers around the sign. Currently there's stone out there, but there's a nice area that's flat. It's already sort of been graded out where we could start maybe with a border and then fill it in as we go. And if we were to go like in the area roughly where the stone is now, it'd be about 10 by 20 less the sign area. So you're looking at about 350 bricks. But again, we don't have to do 350 bricks right away. We could build out, or we could just do like a 1 border and then sell the bricks and then kind of keep building on it. And keep it looking nice, because it would be sort of like a border with the stone in the middle, and as we sold bricks, we could fill it in.
This is
So-
the sign you said?
The benefit
Yep.
for that would be, because of the way the area is with the stone, you'd be
Yeah.
able to at least do like 1 brick border and keep it looking like aesthetically pleasing as we, you know, sold the bricks, you know, just so it had a finished look to it without having to put a whole bunch of pavers in.
Is this the first one we talked about that they had the 2 side by side? Is that? Okay.
Yeah, so that was more like just a border running along the pathway.
Mhm.
And again, we can change it around. I just kind of threw together the ideas.
Is this a wall or is this?
No, it's just a flat
Okay.
paver area.
I have a thought. Where Because it seems to me that we want to have it in a place where most people would be able to see it, just
Yeah.
doing something normal. And I don't know, initially I thought, oh, we could do it right out front here, where the entrance to City Hall is, and the steps and all that, and we could have it out front, and people would, but I don't think people come in that door anymore.
Get a lot of people that walk on that sidewalk, but not as many that are walking in. Sometimes it's hit or miss. People that come here more often tend to use the back. And then people that come just to get like a beach pass, they do park in those 4 customer parking spots and walk around the front. I see more often. But you do still see it, them go around the back as well.
And how about where the helicopter pad is?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That's only half of it.
That's just from the cul-de-sac area off of Harbor, 9th Street to
What
Harbor.
if we wanted to do it around the whole?
Good, it'd be a lot of bricks. I mean, that's 2 bricks border, and you're at 198, so I guess it's not that crazy, because this is actually more, but, yeah, if you were to cover that whole area, I don't want to, so you'd come all the way up. You probably,
No, I was just talking about the helicopter pad itself.
all around, like,
Just during the circle.
just like on the,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an option too.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of where people would most likely see it and be able to say, oh, there's our name, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And,
Why not right here? Right in
well,
front, like you're saying.
that's where I was thinking, right in
Yeah,
front, but
that's
I
what I
don't
was
know how many
thinking.
people use
Because I
that.
don't think, I like the idea of the one around the sign, but I don't think many people will see it. Because you would have to make yourself go up there and look, and you'd be looking for it. Where people walk is here. And I don't know how many
Do
go
they,
down to the helicopter pad,
That's
but
what
they
I'm
walk
asking.
that front one.
Initially, I thought, gee, that's right out front on the steps and be a nice place, but where do people actually,
I see more people coming down the sidewalk of Causeway Boulevard, but I'd say probably 2/3 of the people come down the sidewalk of Causeway Boulevard, but there's probably still a good chunk that coming off Harbor Drive. And
Coming in
they're
from
using that walking easement. So I don't know if they're coming all the way from Indian Rocks, so it just depends on, I think, where people live. Whether if they're going up the Gulf Boulevard to Causeway, or if they even know about the easement and coming the other way. But I'd say the majority still come on the sidewalk from Causeway Boulevard from Gulf. That's where most people throughout the morning.
so out front, you're talking about, or?
Out front, yes. Yes, more people pass out front on the sidewalk by the sign up to,
Up to these steps here.
no, what I'm trying to say is most people come this way, right here. Some people come up this way, but everybody is either, and then there's some people on this side, but if you're crossing that area, they're on the main sidewalk.
I know when we have done stuff back here, we had people walking up that path here, but that's only when we have some kind of activity
Sure.
going on. And, you know, if people are gonna have a paper or brick somewhere in their memory, or in memory of a wedding event or something like that, then we have to figure out where they're most likely to see it, and tell their friends, oh yeah, we bought a brick and it's right out there in that patio that you're sitting on. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of where would be most appropriate.
Anybody else have any questions?
I just feel like the 198 though, is there someplace like, what if we have spillover? I know we're not gonna sell 198 bricks like right away, but in 5 years, 10 years, like will there be room to continue it?
Yeah, you can either go around or go out wider.
So what are next steps? Do you present this to the council and
Yeah,
then they
once
make
we have
the
an
decision?
idea of where we wanna put it. And yeah, another thing I think of here is, if you were to come out this far, this is the right of way for the county is pretty much right at the edge of that sidewalk. So you'd be in the right of way. If you're putting bricks
Okay,
there. So
how
you'd have
many
to get
people
permitted.
think this is a good idea? Anybody? No? Okay,
Which one is
great.
that, around the sign?
Yeah. That's how you have to do it. Okay, great. Now we're down to these two. There we go. We nixed, well, we didn't nix, but we at least got
For now.
people's opinions on that.
For now.
So now, down to the places where there's the most visibility.
I like the walkway idea. I still think I like
You
it.
like lining the
What
walkway?
idea?
I like lining the walkway idea. I'm not averse to either one though. It's not something that if I were buying bricks for my family, here you go. I almost wouldn't want it up front. I don't know why. I feel like that's too
Is this the stairs?
trafficy.
Is
Yes.
this the stairs
Yes.
area?
Yeah.
So, yeah. See, and I like that area right there, right in front.
Where,
Just right in front, before you come up the stairs, start with, what are the little
like
blocks
what?
of concrete? They're like 3x2s or 3x4, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, like right out here out the window?
Yeah.
Like, so you got like the garden bed that's right to the side of the stairs?
Oh, right there.
Yeah, the regulars, yeah. The sidewalk is closest to us,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it comes right up to the stairs, right? Well, you've got from the sign to that way, and you've got,
So on the
it comes
interior,
down in little,
this interior grass area?
yeah. Well, no, this sidewalk, you know how the sidewalk
okay.
is
So like a
divided into sections like that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So you only
Oh,
have
you
to
wanna
replace
pop-
one section at a
Oh,
time when you
gotcha.
put, and you could have one brick in there, and the one in front of it could have 5 bricks because as you're adding 2. I'm not good at explaining things.
5 bricks?
But
I thought you were saying pull the whole slab and then.
yes, you
replace
would
it
pull
with
the whole
bricks.
slab out, and then when somebody bought a brick, you would put it would engraved or etched or whatever it is, and put it back.
Okay.
Anyway, ask Lloyd. He knows how. When I explained it to him, he got it.
Okay, so like, I don't know, it's probably like a
he thought it would be
6-foot
the
sidewalk.
easiest
It might be
as
like
far as replacement things, adding and taking away kind of thing.
Sure.
But
Would you saw cut the whole slab at the expansion
again,
joint?
ask him. Yeah, it was something about you would take the whole slab out and put as many as you were gonna put in. You'd fill it up,
Which
of
would be
course.
like, I don't know, 60 bricks.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know how big they are.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
It might be easier to do a section at a time.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it would always look complete as opposed
Right,
to, because on the flip side of this, Kyle kind of mentioned, like, say if we pick this one, and you sell 6 bricks, so it's 1, 2, 3. Well, to put plain bricks all the way around, have a company do that, and then replace them as it goes so the project always looks finished is going to be a huge expense to put it in to have it torn back out for something that's, especially if we go all the way around, that would be, what, does that say 190? So like just let's say,
Yeah,
let's
198.
double it and say it's 400 bricks. So we have to pay, meaning the foundation would have to pay a company
Right.
to put 400 plain bricks in to take them out so it doesn't look half finished at any time. So that's also a consideration, just because I don't know if that's a possibility right now.
Yeah.
And like, I just think the worst thing that we could do is say we sell 30 bricks and, you know what I mean, we don't have anywhere to put them yet. So does that make sense? And that's the way you explained it to me. So we also have to keep that in mind as we look at projects that are 400 bricks. And I understand we're looking at 10, 15 years down the road, like say whoever takes over the foundation, like they just continue it and we continue to sell the brick program. You know, maybe one day we've used all 3 spaces. You know what I mean? You never know what we can use or...
A lot of bricks. That's a lot of bricks.
It's a lot of bricks. But you know, it's a lot of years, or it could fizzle. We just don't know. So it's like to pick a place initially, those are just things that we also need to keep in mind on the back side of it. So when you said take out a section that's maybe 60 bricks and just do one section at a time, that almost seems more manageable to me. If
Yeah.
that's an
That's what I was
option.
And we'll stay out of the right of way for there, which is good.
And it's right
we
up
can-
front.
We can place out however many bricks we're gonna be able to fit in there, and then it'll be nice and snug.
And when people come for weddings, they have to walk that way anyway, because that's usually where the wedding is, right?
Down
And
there,
then
yeah.
see all the wonderful Bel Air people that have, donated to the city. And I just like it being right out front. That's just a personal,
Mm-hmm. Do you want to start out this way, or you want to start that way?
Hey, I'll let you pick. Start the one right in dead center. I don't care. I just know when we talked about it, and Lloyd was here, we were looking out the window, and then he and I walked around to all
Sure.
the places afterwards, and he was saying how it would be so much easier just to do one of those sections
Yeah.
at a time,
Yeah.
whether,
I know what
go
you're
to the
saying.
next section.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, like best case scenario, we come up with our 2 favorites, and then that's what Kyle presents to council, because we want to give them options, and they could come up with 10 other things, just like we are. And at the end of the day, it's not our decision.
Well,
on,
they do like it when you kind of lay it out.
narrow it down and
Yeah.
say we've gone through
Propose
all these
something.
options, and
Then they don't have to come up with anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
If we just lay it out, this is what the Park and Recreation Board thinks would be a good area.
What if I want to buy bricks and decide I'm going to buy bricks for wedding or my grandson's wedding or something like that, but only if it's on the end of 20th Street Park?
Well,
I
You
mean,
can-
a lot of people do
Right
that.
down there.
They want to have it, that's their memories of that area.
Well, we
You know,
can
how many bricks
start
you gonna
something
buy?
on 20th Street for us.
They can buy a bench
Well, that's what I'm-
or a
I'm
plant,
saying.
right? Something
Yeah,
that's
that's-
movable. I think that's like if you want something that is a legacy item, you can buy like a bench or,
So
plant
no
a
bricks.
tree or something. But the brick is really like, I think it makes sense to have the bricks here. Again, I've seen it really done well. My alumni association had it done beautifully, and it was right outside of the clubhouse for the alumni. And, they had all different sizes. It was really beautifully done. So that's like
So
how
we're going
I-
to turn people away that say they want bricks down on the path in 20th Street Park?
Well,
No,
what's the
this is
proposed?
something different,
Yeah, I mean, if you were like, hey, I want to buy that close to that many bricks, but I want them down there, you're gonna buy them all at once. I guess we could probably make something work.
But we can't have single random bricks
Yeah.
all over the city.
I mean, this is the start of our brick.
Because that kind of sounds like what you want to do. Like you just want to buy one brick, but you want it done by the park where they got married.
Wants to
Or,
buy 20 bricks. Did you say 20?
You can put a plaque in the.
that's a lot
Yeah,
of bricks.
plaque. You'd be better off buying a plaque or something that's more durable and, I don't
It's
know.
already got 2 plaques there.
It does have to.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we are on that. So I don't know. Do we need to come up with a final recommendation today?
Yeah, because if I'm
Okay.
gonna give it to him in October.
Okay. So
The idea is, so what we like, kind of what we, do you want to throw which two, or do we want to just make a recommendation, this is what we thought? I mean, how do you guys feel about what we discussed as far as cutting out some of this?
I like that one.
yeah, my favorite 2 are these 2. Like I don't. If it's not around the sign, that's okay. If we start with one, like if we move that little square over here and go with what she went, I'm
You want right in the middle? There.
fine either way.
Start on like the edge of the square.
What about if we start with the one, like, you know how you get off the sidewalk
Yeah.
and it comes like maybe you're coming towards the library or the sign? The first square past that little gritty, like the
handicap
Yeah.
thing, sensor.
because the square's kind of like right in the middle, and then we can always turn
So start there, right, at that, where
east.
the cut lines are,
Yeah,
and come this way.
yeah.
I mean, we don't have to do that whole slab, right? We could do a section of that slab. To start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what she's proposing is starting right here, this first cut line, and then we would figure out the proper block of bricks and start there.
But that doesn't interfere with the walkway, does it?
It
Or
is
people,
the walkway.
the
It is
people
the
won't be
walkway.
walking on the bricks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's just like at Busch Gardens and all those, how they have
Sure.
donators, and they're just sporadic, you know, you'll just see, oh, there's a, you know, donated by so-and-so, or in memory of, or.
We like that.
All right, I don't feel like we're ready to make a motion yet, to make a formal vote. So do you guys, if you feel like you know what your two choices, and you're ready to vote, then we can move forward.
I know what I would vote for, George knows what he would vote for.
Nicole, are you,
Yeah, whenever we make the final decision on what Kyle needs to present to council, then we can make a motion on it. If not, then I don't know who makes the decision on what we present. But he said he needs it today.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
We could make a motion on what two options.
okay. So let's do it like this. How many of you want this one? Just show of hands. 1, 2, 3. Okay, could you please hand me that one? How many of you like this one?
I would love it if it was a wall. I don't know why. I was visualizing a wall, but it's on the ground, so that one didn't do it for me.
Okay. And now this one, we have two options. We have the section of the sidewalk, like taking out
Drawn in.
the box, or we have around the sign. So we're gonna do 2 votes on this one. So let's start with the sign, because that was one of our original, to go around the sign that already has rocks. So all they would have to do is put the bricks in, take the rocks out, and then kind of fill it in as they go. So it would already look complete, or at least, you know, finished, without having to put any plain bricks in to take them out. Does that make sense? So the first thing we're going to vote on is the area around the sign. So who likes that? Nobody. Okay. Who likes the sidewalk square in the front where we just take out a section of the sidewalk?
That's what that one was.
No,
Two
that's
different.
No, those second
Alright.
one after the path.
Nobody likes this one. This is
nobody likes
this
that
is
one.
off the.
Okay,
So that one's done.
Oh, so you thought you were voting
Yeah,
on?
she
Oh, okay.
No, the front sidewalk, that's the one I voted on.
That's this.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so you didn't mean to vote for that one.
No.
Okay, so yeah, so this has got the front section of, this is the front of the building, the front section of the sidewalk, and then the front section around the sign. So nobody likes the sign. I do. I'm gonna vote, one of my votes gonna go for the sign, because we have to vote for 2. And then the sidewalk section.
Sidewalk.
Me, you, George, what do you think about the sidewalk in
I
the
don't know
front?
which one we're voting on.
The sidewalk in the front.
Keep changing it.
No,
We
have to vote
Right
for the-
outside the front door here, the sidewalk right outside the front door, before the steps.
No, I'm not for that.
If we have to vote for 2, my second choice would be around the sign. 'Cause
okay.
I don't know why, I can't visualize walking on somebody's name, like in memory of. I don't want to walk on it.
Gotcha. And then the section of the sidewalk in the front of the building. 1, 2, do you know where we are, George?
And I thought I,
See, this piece of paper has 2 choices. One is the original, which is the sign, and then the
voted
one,
against that already.
Right.
You didn't like the sign.
Correct.
right, so I
Oh,
didn't give
sorry.
you a vote for that.
Okay.
But I don't think I have you down for, I have you down for this. So you
That's
only
right.
voted once. I need 2 votes from you.
So can I vote twice for that?
No. Nice try,
Oh, where
butterfly.
are the tables? I need to shuffle.
This is the table scenario
You had
right
a
here.
second choice.
You're
I only have
living in
one
it.
choice then.
You only have one choice. Leo? So we have 3 for the section of sidewalk. We have 2 for around the sign. You added around the sign.
If I had to pick the second choice, my second choice would be around the sign.
Well, we can always just give council one choice, but I don't know if that's... Because we're kind of like, well, this is all we like, and if you don't like it,
No,
we're
I
back
like
to the
idea of
drawing.
giving them a choice. and those, I mean, or even Bree, I mean.
Okay, well, you know, we actually have, with everyone not really voting twice because they don't want to, we have 3 votes for the section of the sidewalk in the front, and we have 3 votes for the pathway.
Okay.
So is everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
How do we get 6 votes?
because not everybody voted.
Twice.
Okay. Okay. That's good, as long as you guys are good with it, just don't make a motion.
I agree, how do we get 6 votes?
It would be so great if we could see what it would look like. You know, they have that software and stuff, which we obviously don't have, but that we could visualize what it would look like. Is there any way to do that?
Because really we had 8
Not
votes.
really.
Because there were 2 for the sign.
Do you have like
Right.
names for these so I can put them in the notes correctly?
We got
If we're
some
making a
layouts
motion on
and
it?
One
stuff,
that's like the
but-
walkway and one that's the front of building. How would you
Front of
describe
building
front of
sidewalk,
building
yeah, there's a
sidewalk?
pathway to the
Yeah,
helicopter
front of
pad.
building.
So here's the sidewalk. I mean, isn't that like just like that you would walk on?
It's like Disney World. Disney World doesn't care. They walk all over and then they put the trash can over ours, so it's
I
fine.
bet
They
Disney
did?
World didn't
Yeah, they
take
don't
much
care.
time to.
No, they don't.
They get that
But
money and they're out.
But this is gonna look much more like this, like how many bricks across versus the walkway, which is only 2 across, right? It will look very different. Like how many bricks would we envision would go into
I think
the front
counts at about
side?
60 would go in.
Yeah,
one
we
of
would
those
do like a whole
sections.
block of
You
like
do a
where
whole
one of the little slabs. is
Yeah, but so how
constantly-
many across and how many down? Like
I don't
5 by
know.
5
I
or,
would-
you know what I mean? Because
I would
that's
measure
easier
it
for,
out.
we don't know yet.
Yeah.
well, that
The
just
other
came
one
up.
is just 2 by side, okay.
Yeah, the other one's 2 side by side. It just kind of goes up and around.
Meanders, yeah.
Yes, and then the one would just be like more of a rectangle. So it might be, say it's 20, 20 up and down, 30 across to be that just for
Right.
20 by 30?
What are we talking about?
but bricks. So it's not 20 by 30 inches. It's 20 by 30, like 20 bricks by 30 bricks.
What are we talking about right now?
Like she's like, I wish I could picture it. And I said, so say it's wider than it is tall. So say it's 30 bricks wide and 20
That
bricks
helps
tall.
me visualize it, which is a very different look than
That's
2
60
going down
bricks that you're
70
talking about.
feet. You're
Yeah.
meandering,
20 by 30.
you know,
Right.
it looks very different, so.
600.
600, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not gonna be that many.
It's not, I'm just giving her an example so she can visualize.
Right.
I don't know the number. It could be 10 by 20 or 15 by 30. I don't know the actual number, but that just, it's wider than it is
How
tall.
big are the bricks?
I like.
8-inch bricks?
Yeah, 8-inch. So you're looking at
4
like
by
maybe 8 or so, and I don't know. Depends how big of a cut area you do. You could go maybe 10 to start with 80 bricks filled in. You know?
I just think it would be helpful if you have to present it to say something, 20 by, it'll be 20 feet, something. Because it is such a different aesthetic, like just having 2 side by side going along 70 feet versus having 60 feet and 20
Well, this is
across.
this.
and
I
30.
mean, I can get. I can measure it and get it.
Yeah. We can figure it out,
Yeah.
approximately.
But I guess I'll just send it out. Hey, you guys good with this?
Because the space is already exactly measured for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
We're literally just cutting out the same section of the sidewalk. So it's not like we have to figure anything out. It's done for us and it's got to match the rest of the sidewalk exactly. So it's not like we can make it wider or smaller. It's got to fit into that exact lineup. So it just looks nice, I would think.
Yeah, and the best way to do that, you'd have to kind of play with bricks across.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right.
So I would.
You showed in the pictures. Here, you got
I think that bottom corner.
like you could leave sort of like a concrete border, like she was talking about. Put the bricks in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Only so wide down the center, and still leave concrete on the edges.
Yeah,
And then
I
you don't
like
have to
that.
walk on
I
it.
like it a little bit better not having to walk on it in memory of.
Well, some people would walk on it.
I know.
It
they
would be in the middle.
Yes, yeah.
You could walk.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I didn't quite picture it when you,
I
or
do too,
catch
I
it.
like that idea, that makes it more,
Yeah, so we'd have to
Wow.
saw cut and pull it out.
Do you know how thick it is?
Probably between 4 and 6 inches.
Okay. So not much more than what the bricks are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would just put some kind of base down and with some sand.
Sand, okay. Yeah, I like that. That would look nice. Because then it would still be uniform with the, it would still just like blend into the rest of the site.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll look at it, come up with an idea,
And you want to email it out?
email it and say, this is what I figured.
Can we vote by email? Or is it okay that we voted and you're just going to let us see it?
I mean, unless you're like, that's horrible, do this instead.
so we have the 2 choices that we can go to the council with recommendations. You're gonna send out what they visually look like, and then
The
the
best
might
I
sway a
can.
little. Yeah, okay.
And then, so you gotta think about pattern too. We could just, to make it easy and square, you could do something sort of like this in the middle, you know, if you were to imagine, you know, two, you know what I mean? So like, that way you weren't doing half bricks. Or you could do something like, see if you do that, herringbone. Yeah, see that most of the layouts are like, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Because if you start doing like, fit it in with the herringbone design, then it might be,
Have we picked out what the actual brick looks like, Tammy? Like this versus the lighter color versus a darker color, or do we need to
That's next on-
recommend that?
that's
Okay.
next on the list.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
Alright.
I'm following.
So where to put it, and then potentially,
And again, these are all just recommendations. Honestly, it's like, it's really not up to us. We're just giving our opinion. So we're putting a lot of thought into something like, that's why Kyle printed all this stuff out. So, yes.
so lay it out, kind of like a pattern like this. Figure out how many bricks in the middle. I'll throw that out at you. The color suggestion is this nutmeg full range. Lighter,
Which one?
this
Sorry.
one. It's hard to see though. These
Which
things,
one, the
these aren't the
bottom?
best.
It's terrible. I'm just
So,
kidding.
so when it's a full range,
I don't care
It's
either.
beautiful.
it's not like says nutmeg is like one color solid. Just when they got the range, and it's like those off different shades, so it kind of gives it a little more texture, I guess.
is there a reason though? I mean, I like it and I don't have a preference. But I'm just curious, like, is there a reason that we can say?
I can say the
well,
reason.
It's better for the rain.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason is on the lighter ones, it'll show mold, or you know how sometimes you get black, like especially around here and close to the water. So it'll hide that a little bit better. And 2, the sample that we have to show them is a very, very dark. And so like the black imprint doesn't pop as much as it would on one that's a little bit lighter. So this is what the sample that they sent us. You guys have all seen that. It's dark. And so, so that was the logic. It's dark enough to not show a lot of weathered, yucky growth, and it's light enough where you can see
Yep.
the imprint.
And are they slightly nuanced shades? Within that, it looks like it, but I still can't tell.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah,
there are
they're
a
just
little
slightly
nuanced,
off, yeah.
slight variation.
And that was why we thought it would blend
I-
in nicer with the sidewalk as opposed to something that's just one solid color.
Right.
It'll just kind of like, especially if we do a border of the concrete, because there's some lighter, there's some darker, but nowhere is it like this color. Which doesn't really go, I mean, like our building's not that color, our logo's real light. So that was the logic for
And then
the recommendation.
this one, it's gonna be just bricks built off of the edge of the sidewalk.
Right.
So I guess I could try and do sort of a visual of what that would look like. And then we probably could start with, in that situation, like maybe doing like brick, and then, you know, like offset for 2. And that would be like 8 inches, because they're 4 inches each. So maybe start like that, and it would be, I guess, as we go. See that the difference is though, like when you're cutting out the piece, you know, you're putting in so many bricks in, and you have sort of a finished walk. With this one, I mean, I calculated about, well, that's 1 foot, so that'd be 3 rows of bricks. So you're still doing 100 and, I don't know, 120 something bricks if you were to run. I don't know if we're trying to get to a certain point, or if we're just, you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of having a hard time visualizing this because I feel like that's not a tripping point, right? If it's uneven, it's in the ground.
It would be in the ground. This is going to be harder to do.
Right.
Because you have grade as you go up. It's not
flat.
That's something we should probably think about. What are your thoughts?
Why is a grade problem?
We'll just have to cut out into the ground, and you might want to actually consider putting some kind of concrete retaining edge on it to keep it from wanting to slide out, because this is going to be lower ground here. I mean,
It wouldn't be just like pavers, like when you do pavers. 'cause you
it
don't
would be
put
like
concrete
that.
over pavers.
I would just want to keep it, and it's like, how far do we do a certain stretch of it, and then, you know, because that way.
I mean, if we only
It's
sold
just
10
tricky.
bricks,
I think
then
we're
we can
getting
put 10
into
bricks
too much
in if you're doing that
detail.
sidewalk. You just
Yeah,
got
it's
big,
a
big,
little
big, big.
easier, right?
And then
Yeah.
Well, and I guess the way
2
I
months
pictured
later, you
it,
sell 25 more bricks,
Yeah,
so then you
you
just
do.
add on that path.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I just thought they would be side by side, and it would just be like an extension of the sidewalk, so
Yeah.
it's even all the way up, like it would just follow it around, like the whole staggering thing.
The
Yeah,
ground's just gonna have to be graded.
I just thought it
Just
would
like
be
you
like
put
a
in pavers.
So just lay them out.
yeah. I just thought it would just be an extension of what's already there.
So you just start with one line?
Start with one line, yes,
Okay. All right, I can see what
and
you're
then yep,
saying.
one
If
row all the way
people
up.
weren't really walking or riding on them, they would stay all right.
Yeah, it would look like a trim work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, around your door. That's kind of what the
Okay.
visual I get anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like it's more decorative, and people
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't be walking on it
Yeah.
because it'd be over on the edge, and
I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Superstitious, I'm sorry.
Well, they're not all gonna be in movie. I thought I was just gonna buy one that said Lord and Patty
You wanna walk on somebody,
2019.
imagine people get mad.
yeah, they're gonna be a mix. It's gonna be weddings and it's gonna be all different things. So
Okay.
yeah,
So I'll try to put a little visual.
yeah.
Take a close picture of each area, and then put in some bricks so you can
Yeah.
visualize it.
Well, I was thinking of though, if they're probably about 3 foot by 4 foot, the rectangles of
Yeah, this is a little bit
yeah,
wider.
so that'd be
probably.
about 48
Yeah.
bricks, because they're like 8 inches, you know, so they'd be
But if
6
we-
across and 8 that way.
That would be really manageable too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So I'll put that together,
Yeah, we move to the next
and I'll
topic.
send it to you, and then you guys
know.
will
All
approve it.
exhausted in the bricks.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And
She made a motion to.
And then we go.
stop talking about the bricks.
That's what I did, I said I moved to number 7.
Okay, I'll just take care of the bricks.
George seconded me.
I make a motion that Kyle makes all the decisions. Anyone second it? I'm teasing. All right. Do you have enough info to work on?
I do.
Okay, so then we're gonna move on. All right.
Are you planning on presenting on this week?
No.
October.
No, October.
I was like,
So-
oh no.
That's
We can
tomorrow.
get
It's
some-
too late for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Thank
have my nails by
goodness,
tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
It's too late for that.
Great.
Okay, so item number 7 is the Halloween event. So that'll be good. So I reached out to Dave Gaddis, and he was our MC last year. He's going to be our MC again this year, so that's cool. And it literally took Dave, Wendy, and their son Michael. They did a great job. Like Dave would make the announcements, Wendy and Michael would kind of herd the cats like to where they needed to be. So that worked great. So they're going to do that. And then we need 6 judges. And so I have a list of people I've been contacting. I'm contacting the people that did it last year. I've had, there's been some movement. So right now there's only 2 confirmations out of 6, but I don't think it's going to be difficult to get 4 more people. And then as far as the tables for Park and Rec, we have the sign-up table, which Pat and Rich Benevito are going to take that table. They did it last year. And then we have the, and that sign-up table kind of turns into one of the treat tables where they're just kind of handing out bags of candy because obviously once everybody signs up, that's kind of over with. And then we have the cookie table / hydration station, so that's where the cookies and the water will be. And then we have the whole section with all the dog water bowls, which is just kind of off to the side of that. And then we have the community table, which kind of encompassed our first aid kit, the speaker for the music, our suggestion box. What we need to decide, we didn't sell merchandise at the Halloween event last year, so we need to decide if we're gonna sell the merchandise that we have, and then if we sell it all out, then we order new stuff for the Christmas because it's so, I mean, Laura's like, people come in here looking for Christmas gifts. We need to have inventory. So we don't have a whole lot of inventory left. I think we have 10 hand towels, 2 or 3 miscellaneous t-shirts and tank tops of each size. We have a lot of license plates, but otherwise we don't have a lot really of anything. The hats have been selling pretty well. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? This is just kind of a conversation at this point. Do you want to do a merchandise table? Does anybody feel strongly about it one way or the other?
I don't care.
Okay.
Up to you guys.
Use the merchandise table.
So you think?
I move tables around and you do the merchandise.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's the more opportunities we have, you know, people that can
Do
see
you
it.
have a way to take for the Venmo? Because I did see that in your post about the beach. I wanted to ask about that. So when you posted about the beach and selling hand towels and stuff, were we able to do Venmo or we weren't? Because I thought you said you would have Venmo there.
Yeah, it's an option, but most people will pay cash, and if they don't have cash, then they know to just come up here. So yeah. But normally at events, it's like we do cash only. Thank you.
I think in one instance, the guy didn't have cash, so he Venmo'd me, and I had cash in my wallet, and I just paid Nicole for him. But as far as like credit cards or Venmo at the event, through the city, we really haven't found a way to do it.
Yeah. So it's just cash only.
Unless they can pay with a credit card if they come here, like during the week. So, I don't know. I think merch, yes? Everybody cool with merch?
I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
All right.
Is that a separate table?
No, well, that'll just be, we can just do it on the community table. So it'll be the merchandise, the speaker, the first aid kit, and the suggestion box. Because we aren't going to have a ton of inventory. Do you guys have any preferences on where you want to be that day? Like, Nicole usually works the merchandise table. George supervises everything.
That means I'm sitting somewhere.
Giving Donna cookies. Yeah, well, that's okay. Do you have a preference on where you...
Anywhere you need me.
Okay.
Fine. I have to say, I don't have kids, so I'm not like the greatest with kids. So
How about dogs?
I love dogs.
Okay, you can help herd the
How
dogs.
about fighting dogs?
I'm good with all kinds of dogs, fighting, cats, all kinds of pets.
Where do we
Snakes?
put the?
What?
Good with snakes?
Sorry, you said the sign. Oh, sign up.
We haven't had
Oh,
some
good
snakes
signs.
yet.
Oh, it's
Where's
Pat and
the
Rich.
numbers?
We had somebody get
Duh.
a snake.
We haven't yet, but it does say pets and pals.
No.
So we're waiting for someone to bring like a snake
Oh,
or
I've got
A chinchilla.
I'll run. I'll be out of here. You'll not see me.
what?
I know there was a lot of discussion on that last year. Nobody brought anything but dogs, so it was okay. Like, we were
And
like,
is it open only to Bel Air? No.
we don't advertise an outside, but we had a couple people show. We didn't turn anybody down.
Okay.
There
My
might have been,
grandkids can come.
yes, absolutely. There might have been 3 people. And then if people had their grandkids and they lived here, it wasn't even a thought. I'm just saying, the one couple that Nicole talked about that was like the Wizard of Oz, they missed like most of it because they drove like an hour and a half. I don't even know how they heard about it. But anyway, so they didn't really get to enter because they were late. And so we're going to have kind of a hard line a little bit harder line. Yeah. But yeah, we don't advertise everywhere because we can't accommodate, but we don't turn anybody away. We really haven't turned anybody away at anything because we just don't want to be like that, if that's okay. Okay.
So how do you, if someone gets quite private coming over from Tampa or something like that, how do you deal with that?
Well, we just tell them that they missed the sign-ups.
We have no
Can't wait for
control with
everybody
traffic.
Yeah, leave earlier.
No, I mean, but is there a way to pre-register people saying?
We did a pre-register last year and no one did it. Like call City Hall if you want to sign up. No one, not a single person called. We had no idea how many people were showing up that day. And we had a really good number, so.
So I think what you're getting at is if we have somebody from another town show up, there would be no way for us to know that. Is that what you're asking, George? Like,
I was just saying if, like last time people came an hour late or something,
Yeah.
said that they were all dressed up.
They were like an hour late. Like everything was over.
So, cookies, where do
Yeah.
you get those? Do you bake them?
Publix. I don't bake them. He just would get the desserts at Publix. Just kind of like we do the donuts for, yeah. I mean, there's other bakery choices, but that just seems the easiest for Kyle to run across the bridge. And if we run short, he can go get some more.
We like Publix just for the convenience.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Well, they're good too.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Any questions about that, the Halloween event?
So how many tables do you need to have?
4, maybe 5. Oh, and if you recall last year, we had the little girl from Beller Bluffs,
Treat girl.
who she has her own business. She does organic dog treats, and so she had a table last year, so she's going to be back too. Well, Jules is going to check and see if she wants to do it again last year. It was cute. She just gave out samples. She didn't sell anything, and she gave her business card. And so if people, like, so she gave any dog that wanted it some treats, and then if you wanted to buy some, you could just call her.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it was cute. She did a good job. So we had 4 tables. This year we'll have 5 because last year we didn't have a merchandise table, to answer your question, George. So we're adding 1 more table.
and this is all outside, Tammy?
Yes, and this is the only event that we have that is weather pending, because if it pours down rain, we can't turn half the people away, which means all the dogs, and the dogs can't come in the building. So
What time is it?
it is on Sunday from 4 to 6. So setup is at 3 here, and we meet the Friday before, and we set up as much as we can, and we lock everything on this side. So when we get here on Sunday, we can just come in and grab it and take it outside. And it's mostly done. The most part is putting up the tents, because the judges' tables, we have 2 huge, like, you know, those pop-up tents. Are under that. Well, you guys saw the video, so you kind of saw the setup from last year. So it'll be similar. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We move things, as to George's point, we move things so many times that we kind of figured out where everything worked and the flow of it. And the Halloween event was pretty well placed because, like, you know, the kids kind of lined up, the dogs were everywhere. So does anybody have any questions about that?
I see I picked the right job. The dogs are everywhere.
Well, you can't line them up because they fight.
If
Yeah.
you can, it'll be amazing. Try.
I have the dog.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like where like the MC will go, okay, we're up for dog contestant number 8. It's like you have to make sure dog contestant number 8 is paying attention and gets where they need to be. Yep. So, is everybody good?
Yep.
Patty, do you have a choice on what table you want to be at?
Whatever.
Whatever is good? Okay. Sounds good to me. Oh, and we do wear costumes. The judges wear costumes. So I think we talked about that. Okay. Item agenda number 9, December 5th, Christmas event.
Did we skip the chili cook-off?
Well, we'd already discussed it.
Well, we kind of already discussed it.
Oh.
I just have one question.
I don't have my glasses on, so I did skip it. And I already checked it. Go ahead.
All right, so my question is, how are we supposed to sell these if we can't take credit cards? you're just kind of like taking names, filling out the paperwork for them. So if I tell my neighbor, Jim and Carol, you can go to the chili cook-off, how do I, because the bottom says credit cards taken at Bel Air City Hall. So I just give them the tickets, or what do I do?
No, if they can't pay you cash, then they need to come
Take
up here and
cash
buy
from
them from
there,
Laura.
send them.
Oh, okay, so I
Yeah.
should take cash. Okay, got
Yeah.
it, thank you.
Yeah, and then when you sell them, you just bring the cash to Kyle, and he'll give you more tickets if you want. If they need to pay the $10 by credit card, or want to, or whatever, then they have to come up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully they have, or they can
And they can always,
Venmo you, and you can pay the cash.
okay. Or PayPal me or whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, all of those work. I was just gonna kind of figure it out by person, and then at the end of the day, I was gonna bring up, you know, the cash to Kyle.
Yeah, so you guys, you should come back with $100.
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty easy
A
math.
list of 10 people.
Does anybody have any questions about the tracker? It's pretty straightforward. It's just a way to, and then you don't have to, but like, we're gonna have a printout of the instructions that you have on email with the sign-up sheet that they need to bring here and drop off or give to one of us to drop off.
Right.
At the city council meeting tomorrow, they're gonna be on the table where they have the meeting notes printed out. I wrote a list down of everybody I've passed one of those out to. So like I can follow back up around with them if we didn't hear from them. Are you a yes or a no? Did you forget? Because, you know, people have a lot going on, so they may not remember. They're like, oh yeah, I really want to do that, but I forgot where I put the paper. So I'm just kind of keeping track of who I hand the info out to. We're not going to be able to do that for everybody. If random people grab them at the city council meeting, so be it. But I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to keep track.
I just thought of something. So my neighbors that never come to city council are now coming to city council tomorrow night. Do we have any, like, what's the upcoming events there? Because I think that's an opportunity for us to advertise this stuff.
Meaning like a big sign or...
It's something. Because you know how crowded they've been recently? I mean, the Bowie thing brought in like so many people.
Yeah.
They've been really crowded, and it's an audience that we might not otherwise get. Like, is there a way for us to have a list of upcoming events or something? Because we could, the chili cook-off is November, so the October one, you know, have a little table there or something, selling them? Can we do anything, or we can't, because that's really formal?
Well, you don't wanna, like-
Two
Politics
meetings, right?
things.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
So that means 4.
if you want to put together some kind of
right?
little
Why
ad
does it say 2?
that's got the
next
events
to
on it
Tammy?
that people can take, or,
Oh, you mean like a little card or something?
She
yeah,
collected
or just like,
$20.
I mean, we're gonna have
Right.
this
But it's
I-
chili
4
cook-off
tickets,
lineup.
it's not 2.
But I mean, for tomorrow, we're probably not
Right.
gonna get in together. But
Just make me.
To the October
make this
meeting.
clear.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not tickets,
We could-
it's
we
number
could put- We'd
of...
still be able to put
People.
the 3 events
Okay.
on something.
Sorry,
to
I can see
add
why you think that's
for time.
confusing.
Just wanted to get it straight.
I mean,
People there. October meeting should have the Bowie thing on it again.
Thank
so
you,
that
Patty.
we'll
I
have
think that
people-
would be, so that would be okay, to like have a handout saying these are our upcoming events.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
Okay, then maybe we can,
having a handout. People can see the events.
like chili cook-off, the date, how much it is, something.
Kind of
I'm
what
willing
Patty
to
put
do
together in the
work,
city
but-
newsletter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah,
I mean,
just
that
like
sounds
on a-
exactly what
on
you're
a
talking about,
flyers,
but like,
But
Yeah.
just to give them out at the, because the people that read
Yeah.
those, I just started getting the emails, but I know the last few city council meetings have been packed with people, right? And it'd just be good to be able to give something out.
no, it's a good
for
idea.
our events.
Yeah, if you have an idea of like how you want to do it, and you can present it at this next meeting, we can bring it to the council meeting.
I'll do something on, PowerPoint or whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to send something and then I can check the details and finalize that, we can send it out.
Upcoming events posted by Parks and Rec for now. The only one that's not posted by Parks
And you have
and Rec
all-
is Chili Cook-Off. Did you want to put on that it's not?
It's
that
hosted by
still
the-
hosted by us?
It's hosted by
Which
us.
one was the one that was going to be hosted by the Bel Air Beach Community Foundation?
Nothing till
at
next
this
year.
point, it'll be next one.
Okay.
So you have all the information, like times and dates.
I think so.
Okay.
And then I'll put it together and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
If she got the email from Patty from
Yeah.
like the city news, I think everything's
Like
on
maybe
there.
a half sheet like
Yeah,
this, and
'cause
one side could say chili cook-off, and the other could say the Halloween thing on the side that you're talking about,
Something like that, we just,
Right.
you know, the information. Because again, I attend them, and I haven't attended them for 6 years. Okay, so good. They're usually a little more, something like that.
So this is what we did. So Jazz in the Park was one side, and then we had all the rest of our events on the other.
That's what, I won't be able to print it on this fancy paper, but I did finally get my
got
printer
cards
working.
now.
They can, I mean, you
Yeah,
send it to
cards.
Tom, he'll print it out, right?
Oh, okay.
Double-sided or whatever.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's what we mailed out that cost $1,200. So it's much better to hand them
Right, we
out.
can hand them out.
We can hand them out, huh?
People.
It's much,
So it's worth a try.
it's much more economical to pass them out.
I like the font and everything on this, so, great, cool.
And then Kyle can put the logo on and stuff for you.
Yeah.
And we have,
Okay, and then Patty caught an error in my tracker, so just the number. So it's just the number of entries purchased. So 2 entries to the chili cook-off is 4 tickets, not 2 tickets. Does that make sense? So like if I give $20 for my husband and I, it's 4 tickets because you get chili and 2 drink tickets each. So it shouldn't say number of tickets purchased, it should say number of entries. Or you could just put number of tickets and then put 4,
Yeah.
which would,
Whatever.
then you don't have
I
to
just wanted
scratch
to
out tickets.
clarify, 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good catch. I knew what I meant, it just
So
didn't
you
come out
get
that
2
way.
tickets, $10.
2 tickets per person, yes.
$10.
$10.
$10. All right.
$12 out the door.
Does anybody have anything else for the chili cook-off? No? Okay, perfect. Christmas Eve event. Oh, I'm sorry. Back up real quick. The only thing I wanted to add was at the chili cook-off, the foundation, we checked it out with Kyle. We're just going to do a food drive for the month of November. So it'll be in City Hall for the whole month. And then obviously it'll be at the chili cook-off if people want to bring their canned goods or whatever. And then so we'll have it from November 1st to November 30th. And then the food will be donated. And if it piles up, people on the foundation will go drop it off or have them pick it up. So it'll be a box in the corner. It's not like a big to-do. And I was like, so I,
on that paper too.
and that's why I wanted to get it. So there's gonna be the food drive, when is it? The whole month of
November 1st,
November?
yes.
Okay, and they basically want like canned foods.
Canned
and
or
the normal stuff.
Canned or
Boxed,
Canned or
yeah,
boxed.
non-perishable.
Yeah. that's
Who's the
it.
charity?
You know what, we're researching it, so the sign
fine.
for the charity will be on the box.
Okay.
You gotta make a nice
So
box.
food drive.
Yes, we're gonna wrap it.
And glitter paper. I'm just
Glitter.
kidding.
The stuff that falls off.
And what are the
Right in the
cornucopias? And pumpkins and fall leaves.
Just spray some Elmer's and fill with glitter.
Oh.
Oh, but the chili cook-off, one more question. I know you said you could not participate. Can we participate or are we?
Oh no, I'm gonna make a chili. I don't think I can win. I guess I don't know. We can. That's one of those things
Are
where.
you gonna put in front of your crock pot, I can't win, so don't go?
You
No,
wouldn't-
I
You
know.
wouldn't even be able to anyway, so. Probably not even possible.
This is what we went through with the Halloween thing. Like,
Yeah.
can your child win? And it was a whole, I don't even know what, and we just said no.
It looks
So
like a
there's-
conflict of
I
interest.
don't, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'll enter a chili, but I don't plan. I think I just thought, like, say if someone votes for me, then you just pull my name out and do the next person behind me, and it's not even. It's a
The
non-issue.
prizes are only what? Spoons?
Well, and I thought it was a $50 Amazon gift
Oh,
card.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, really, how is that?
That's a good way to do it. Don't announce that you can't win, but if you did win, you'd say the runner-up actually takes.
No, I just
The
won't
runner-up
win.
I
Yeah.
know, would be
Yeah.
the winner, not you.
Yes.
But
But we
Exactly.
all know you won.
Yeah.
It depends on which chili I make. It depends on which one.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody here can enter. We're just gonna just say you make the most spectacular chili in the world. It'll go to the number 2.
I mean, I don't know.
Because is Dave Gaddis gonna be really
It's like
mad?
everybody who's there is voting.
Yeah.
It's kind of different than like at the Halloween you had a panel of
Yeah,
judges
that's
and you know what I mean? Not the fact that everybody who's there gets one vote. I don't know.
If
It
there is
seems
a
kind
conflict
fair. I
of
don't
interest.
think- yeah.
It's not a monetary prize. It's like, is there a monetary prize?
Well,
Are we
we
doing
were
that
gonna-
Amazon? It's just we're doing not
We're
doing
gonna
the
do
Amazon card.
a card with the spoon, I guess. But then again, I'm just saying that I think we can trust that people are just going to vote for what they like. without being like a popularity contest.
Right.
So I think everybody could hold their own on, like, I voted for this because I really liked it. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's going to be quite the same as like, we have so many judges and then there's kids. I don't know. Did you see
would
it
hope it would be
differently?
like 7th graders and, like you said, vote for popularity.
Yeah.
Hopefully they wouldn't do that.
Well, didn't we talk about this a little bit last time? Because isn't Dave having a chili?
Yeah.
So if Dave's having a chili, I think it's fine.
Yeah, he's the mayor. I
But
mean-
can he win? Can
Yeah.
Dave win and win
So
the spoon?
everyone can
So
win.
if he can win the spoon, then
Then
I
you
think
So just go out
anybody else
there.
can too.
And make as many
I
friends
agree.
as you
I'm not
can
the
before.
cook.
Yeah. I mean, if he can win, then
That's probably, I think you should just let
I
it
think
go.
you should recuse
Okay.
yourself.
Because everybody there can vote once.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
should- however it goes, it goes.
There.
There we go.
All right, well, do we need to make an emotion or is everybody good with that discussion? We're good? We're just gonna, everybody can, it's an open, free-for-all, anybody can win.
Unless we should check with our lawyer. I'm sorry, I'm a business person. It all comes down to does it give the appearance of an impropriety. But I think if the mayor can win, anybody
Yeah,
can
the
win.
mayor's the most popular
If the
guy in
mayor
the
can win,
city.
anybody can win. But should the mayor be able to win at Chili
Well, it's his
Cook-Off?
idea.
I don't know. Do we run it by the city?
Well, that's why if you read anything, it says that the entry should be anonymous, but they can't be because the person's gonna be serving the
Right. I would be
chili.
fine with it if it was anonymous, but otherwise, is it there a gift card, like a $50 gift card?
I guess so.
Mm-hmm. I get a
That's what we
spoon and a
voted
gift
on,
card.
didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if we voted on amount, but we did say gift card and a spoon.
I don't have strong feelings on it. How much is it? $50?
Yes. And they're all equal because they're not like first, second,
Yeah.
and third. So it's not like we have to have 100 and 75 and 50. It can be 50, 50, 50 because you got,
Perfect.
yeah, they're all winners. Kyle?
I don't think it'll pose a problem, but we'll just check up on it. We'll go with that.
We'll just ask the lawyer.
Yeah, I don't think
Tomorrow
it-
night, can we
yeah.
ask him casually? Because I think
I'll
it's
just
not,
ask him
if this is a
myself.
small little microcosm, something that could be bigger in the future, and it's just good to know what the rules are. Like if it's under $100, it's de minimis, and we don't have to worry about it. But
Yeah.
if it gets to be
Okay.
something more significant, then just to have the protocol.
Sure. We should be good. I'll check.
Okay. Now I will say, since I remember the food drive, are we all good with the chili cook-off? Okay.
Yes.
All right, item number 9. I'll put my glasses on. December 5th is the Christmas event. As Nicole was explaining, it's just a 1 hour, like just a little holiday cheer. We don't do alcohol. We just have we had hot chocolate and, sweets. And we did have Christmas carolers last year, but it was kind of a waste of money just because if they were singing outside, you couldn't hear them in the building. And then as they walked into the building, so it's not like you could have Christmas music on because then they would walk in and sing. So we're just going to do Christmas music. But we are going to do for the month of December a toy drive. So that'll be Toys for Tots. So it's going to be like not where you get Susie, who's 14, who asks for a PlayStation. It'll be just bring an unwrapped toy, any age, and then we will hand them off to Toys for Tots, and then they can distribute them. Yeah, so I don't want to make it where we're pulling names or adopting families or anything. It's too hard. So it's just going to be, please bring an unwrapped toy if you would like. Just because we don't have a lot of kids here, but then we can,
Perfect.
And then, yeah, like Nicole said, we had one refreshment table and we had a merchandise table. And so, Patty had this really cool, I had never seen them before. I'm sure they're popular, but it was like a wrist wallet, where you put your phone and your money if you run or you walk, that is instead of a fanny pack. And so we were thinking if you guys like it. So this is the first time we've ever seen the logo, the Bel Air Beach logo with just the black and white outline of it. So, and it's not silk screening or iron on. Maybe it is silk screening, but it would be very
It's
similar.
like this.
Oh yeah, but not glittery.
Oh, why not?
Do the glitter.
But
Yeah.
that would be if the thing that she has is like neoprene or like that polyester.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be this, like
Okay.
the vinyl.
And it could just be the black outline, and that would be less expensive. And then it could go on every color because I ordered a 5-pack today from Amazon, And I got a black, a blue, maybe a black and white kind of, you know, that little granite looking thing. And then there might have been a maroon one and a navy blue one. So black would go on any, and it would be kind of gender neutral. And they would probably be under $4, and we could maybe sell them for 15 or something like that. I mean, we could get to it, but we need to do some more research. It was just a thought, but so kind of brainstorm. If I could have, I would have sent you all an email out saying, please brainstorm, because like we're going to run through the merchandise that we have, and we got to come up with at least 2 or 3 things. People keep asking for beach towels, so I did some shopping. We haven't been able to find white, nice beach towels that we can afford for a year, so I finally found some. These Mama Jammas are really nice.
Nice.
And they're the biggest ones that we have. They have them on Amazon on Subscribe and Save for like 13 and change. So we could probably do it and still maybe sell them for 20 or 25 bucks. We've been selling them for 20, but we can still reach our price point that we need to be at. And they offered them in like 20 colors. So hopefully stock is not an issue. But
They fly every time.
They fly.
Those are great.
yeah, so these would be good.
White, stripe, doesn't
And the one-
matter.
Before you had stripe, right?
Yeah.
And the one I have striped?
We had white first, and
Okay.
those flew, and then we couldn't get them anymore. They were all like 30, 35 bucks a piece. We could not find a towel without charging people $40 after the
Yeah.
logo was embroidered on it. So we finally found some under $15, which are not, they're shitty. I have another example over here. I have ordered 20 bags of crappy white towels that I just keep sending back because we're not putting our names on those. I mean, it's embarrassing. Like, they're really bad. So if you guys are good with that, like I said, hopefully we sell out what we have at Halloween, and then we come up with maybe 2 or 3 things other than our standard. Like, they've been selling hats for years. They've been selling license plates for years. That was all before us. You know, the t-shirts and the towels and the hand towels and stuff like that has kind of been like what we've been doing.
Remember, who was it? The bags, like these little tote bags.
Yes.
I don't know if these would be, I paid 25 bucks for my Park City tote bag.
Yeah, it's cute.
I think you can make a nice margin on it. I know we don't look to make a margin, but you could, remember, I think it was Jules had seen my bag and said that this could be something that we can maybe do pretty cheaply. I don't know if you can buy that on Amazon, but these, I love them and they're good for the environment.
She was looking at them on Zazzle. Is it Zazzle? Z-A-Z-Z-L-E? Yeah. So they're not bad. We were also looking at the ones, and I didn't bring it in today, I brought it in before. It literally folds up to something this size. It has a zipper. It would have the Bel Air Beach logo on the outside of it. You unzip it and it turns into that. So like, say if you're going to a market and you don't want to carry that big thing around because you don't know if you're going to find something, it literally compacts down into that. They kind of sell them everywhere now. Like, so that was another thing that we were looking at, which was tote bag-esque.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, brainstorm, but like the towels, depending on how back ordered Mostyn's is, like, you know, and Kyle's like, oh, if they have inventory, let's order the towels now, just because we've had
Yeah, they
issues.
could be gone by tomorrow.
They could be gone, yeah. So I know it's September, but it's coming, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm always about being early and having it in hand as opposed to waiting to the last minute and panicking and not having anything. So, and then if there's something's wrong with it, we have time to fix it. So, you know, in the next couple of weeks, if you think of anything, I think if we get them ordered by like the first 2 weeks of October, we should be in good shape. And obviously Kyle can do the towels anytime because we've already done those. We know how those sell.
Who does the embroidery on it?
Mostyn's over there.
It's right next to
the
Bel Air
New
Market.
Road.
Like, it's in that same strip mall as, like,
Does these?
yeah.
Then who would do like, because I forget, they have to be like licensed to do our stuff, right? Like saying like who would do the silk screen or whatever.
Oh, we have to find somebody.
Yeah, we don't.
But they just would be able to do it, like
we
if we
just
provide
give
them with the
permission
logo.
and give them our
Yeah, that's what it's
factor image.
Well, we're hoping we
Yeah.
can provide them with the logo and the
Got it.
item to put it on.
Cool beans.
Again,
Not
that's
since it's gonna
something.
be a neighborhood.
That's
project.
something new. Well, you know what,
We can
like,
do it.
the company that Kyle ordered these things through, the ones that we did that were white with the Bel Air Beach logo on, it would be something very similar to that. He may be,
Like mugs for you.
Those came out good.
they
They were
did,
nice.
they
They were
do.
a good, like, little thing.
People loved them. They were happy
The
to get.
koozies.
Yeah, we did Bel Air Beach ones for Jazz in the Park.
Jazz in the Park, and we gave them out. It was like a thank you for coming gift.
They were nice.
They were nice, yeah. And we had 100, and it was kind of first come, first serve because we didn't know how many people would show up. So yeah, it was people.
I don't think we really ran out. We just gave, it was a comfortable amount. It was like the perfect number almost.
It was the perfect number. So anyway, does anybody have any other questions about the Christmas event? We have some time on that one. I just wanted to see if anybody came up with anything or had any thoughts on it. That one, like Nicole said earlier, is pretty simple.
And what time of day is it?
It's the 1 hour before city council meeting. So it's from 5 to 6. So like you have, last year it didn't turn out because like they were still kind of in the city council meetings. So like the people that came, like they didn't, we had a really good crowd, but it wasn't the same people that attended city council,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yes, perfect.
Not last year. So hopefully, because we were thinking everyone's coming here anyway. So just, like come here, a little holiday cheer. It would be nice to be able to have a glass of wine. We talked about that, but not before a city council meeting because they're doing business. And so it's like, and if you,
Lately, they've needed some wine before, during, and after these city council meetings.
And setup
They
is at
have been-
4, right?
setup is at 4.
Or you just go around top them all.
They have been better than reality TV the last few. That's why I suddenly go to all of them. They have been interesting. Vino Caldo, make hot wine. That'd be lovely. Hot spiced wine.
Blue wine or whatever they call it. It's up
Apple
there.
Blog.
cider. You could do apple cider.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We can
Along
do
with
hot chocolate
That's
or hot
easy. It's
chocolate.
very
Spice
inexpensive.
it.
Put it in a crock pot.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we want to do? Hot chocolate or the hot cider? Because we have to.
You can't do both? Have 2 crock pots, or I don't know how you did your hot chocolate. last
We did a dispenser, like with the spigot.
Yeah.
We only have one.
And we did
Yeah.
coffee. No.
We didn't do coffee.
Yeah,
Just
chocolate.
kidding.
Nora mixed it all up.
Oh.
So what did we have, like hot chocolate and cookies or something?
And we had little cupcakes and little
Okay.
pedophores. We just did really like little mini bites of all their Christmas stuff. And it was pretty. You're laughing at Donna's. Donna had like icing like up her nose. It was so cute. She was holiday cheering for sure.
So we want to do just 1 drink or 2 or we only have 1 dispenser, right?
Currently have one.
So we just have to, make a
You
vote.
can't do like in a crock pot and ladle it. Like you can keep cider, that's why I do it. Christmas, I actually have everything ready night before on Christmas morning, and it makes the whole house smell cinnamon.
Oh, I
and
bet
yummy.
it smells really good. Yeah, I mean,
Not that anybody drinks all that much.
my
of it.
crock pot says Chicago Bears, so I'm not going to donate my crock pot, but like you need to find some plain silver or red.
I have a crock pot, but I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's big enough to do it. I'd be happy to volunteer. I never use it. It's in there.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that, absolutely, because I want to say the dispenser was like $60, and you probably don't want to have another one like hanging out if we could do it in a crock pot. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem. Is anybody else, are you guys good? Does anybody have an objections to doing 2 hot drinks? And then we did cold water because, sometimes it's hot here in December.
Yeah.
So it's
Christmas,
like,
85.
Yeah.
and then other times it's cold. So it's like, it's kind of a crapshoot whether the weather is going to be. So, yeah, I'm good with any of that. I mean, the more choices, the merrier. But it worked pretty well last year. I mean, people just dispensed their own hot chocolate. So we didn't have to man the table. Like they just, like we'd go up there every once in a while, make sure that it was supplied and it was like nobody left their garbage or anything like that. But like for the most part, if, I don't know, I kind of thinking with the ladle though, we should probably do it. I don't know if I'm trusting people to go up there with hot liquid and to put it, I kind of see that as like spillage. Right, George?
George can do it.
No, I'm just thinking I'd be stuck between the cupcakes and a hot ladle or something.
There you go.
Not a good view.
No.
And he can wear his little elf hat.
George is going to be an elf, so no Santa, elf.
Okay.
You know what? I do have an elf hat, by the way.
Me too.
With the fake ears. Oh, it's cute. I can loan it to you, George.
I've got a witch's hat.
Well, you got to wear that for Halloween.
Yeah. You could be a man witch.
Sure.
Gremlin. Gremlin.
Will you be the elf?
Elf?
Elf. You know, like, what's the guy's name?
Buddy the elf.
Elf.
I don't know, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Will Ferrell.
Yes, thank you. I'm like, it's escaping me. But anyways, anybody have anything else on the Christmas event? We have some time on that one. I just like, it's good to talk about it because every time we come up with something new and not different, but just maybe like a tweak here and there, which is good, so. Okay.
Are all these, and let me just see if I can simplify something for myself. All the events coming up, do we have a 1 hour setup before that, each event, or there's some one event requires more than?
It's like a couple hours.
So, let's see. Ready?
It's in the meeting. We talked about it and decided on
Yeah.
it at the last
We
meeting.
said 1 p.m. For the Halloween and 1 p.m. for the chili cook-off, which would probably take 1 to 2 hours, probably closer to 2.
And that's the day before, a couple of days before the event, and then the actual day
It's
of the
the
event, you
Fridays
still want us
before.
here an hour before?
Yes.
Okay. As I said, the one event, for now, I won't be able to make is December 5th. I'll try to see what I can do with it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can, it's fine. As long as we know, we have like a group of people, like volunteers that don't want to be on the board, but they definitely will help with stuff. So it's cool.
Okay.
Not everybody can be at everything. So, all right. Anybody have anything else? Good with that? Okay. Agenda item number 10. Okay, so this is real quick. The January 14th Health and Wellness Fair, just a quick update. As of today, we have 14 yeses, 3 nos, and the rest are pending. So that's 17 people out of like 25. So Wellness Way called me and Dr. Alex were set. I didn't hear from the dentist.
They are definitely coming.
They're a yes. Okay, perfect. And they have the sheet you gave it to them. Okay, yay.
Gave it to both of them. Who did you say from Wellness Way?
Dr. Alex?
Oh, okay, that's his partner. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say Ryan. Ryan is the
And he's
guy
got a
out-
really long last name. So I think he said Dr. A or Dr.
Yeah.
or Dr. whatever. He shortened it
They're
because
both
it's
Susan B. They're about, I don't know, are they 30 something? And very sweet young men. Yeah.
So now we have 15 yeses.
now we have 15 yeses. So today, last year, if you recall, we had Gold's Gym. And we talked about it. They they didn't work out that great. So today I got Baycare Fitness.
Wow.
So
Cool.
and Baycare Fitness.
Oh, good.
Spoke to the manager there today, and they've done them in the past. They're excited to do it. So the one thing that they did ask me, he's like, would you mind if I had, because normally when we do these things, we bring our dietitian, we bring our massage therapist, we bring all these things that we have to offer other than the gym. Well, it was kind of last year, part of our selling point to get people to sign up for this was you're the only one. You're the only dietitian. You're the only gym. You're the only massage therapist. So what I told him is I will ask Steven, the massage therapist, you were packed from the beginning to the end and you could have stayed there another 2 hours with people on your table. So he might actually like a little bit of, not, I don't want to say relief, but you know what I mean? Especially if we get more people this year, because last year we had 80. If we have 250 people this year,
Wonderful.
he wouldn't be able to even accommodate a third of them. So I'm just going to check with him. But if you guys are kind of okay with that, me saying, as long as the original person is okay with having maybe another dietitian. We were always like, we have a male personal trainer. I told him, I go, you could, if you have a female personal trainer, because like sometimes girls don't like to work out with a guy or vice versa kind of thing. So I figured you guys wouldn't really have an opinion on it. So if we have 2 massage therapists, the more the merrier. I'm like, where do I sign up? So, all right. So yeah, so that's that one again. It's in January. It's just kind of ticking along. We started way early this year, hopefully trying to get the mole patrol, and we didn't get them anyway. They were a no, like after the last meeting. So I think we have another dermatologist. So as long as we have a derm, because last year we didn't, and I really think it's important that we have one.
Yes.
But there's so many categories. We didn't have an eye doctor, a foot doctor. I mean, we couldn't have one of everything, and we don't have enough space. So we kind of have to pick and choose. But I think a dermatologist is really important. So we are good on that. Does anybody have any questions?
Have you found a dermatologist? Oh,
Yeah.
who is it?
Let me look at mine. I did not, it's not my derm because I tried my derm last year at Florida Dermatology. There's like 14 locations. They're almost too big to even, they were too big to even nail someone down because it's not my actual doctor that does the,
I think you said this already, Tammy, but that means that the mole patrol is not coming?
yes ma'am.
Okay.
They were a no. They emailed me like a week after our last meeting. Dermatologist, where are they? Oh.
Buffet. I expect nothing less, so makes sense.
Oh, it's called Bay Dermatology.
Oh, yeah. That's
I-
a real big place.
That's
too.
another big one.
Okay.
I've used them.
Dr. Hendrick. Hedrick, Hedrick. So they are pending. I've emailed them. This one is going through Jules. A couple of them have gone through Jules. Oh, and then one, so we got a no on the yoga, and I haven't heard from the stand-up paddleboard yoga. So possibly to replace them, we have this kickboxing.
Is that the Clearwater one?
This, I think.
The lady's like really nice. She's from New Jersey. Yeah.
Beth.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, she's
Great.
actually invited me to attend an event at her establishment, but I
I'll
got,
be crawling. That's how I crawl out of it. It's tough. It's really tough, but it's a good class, and
you get 6 of gift. I mean, if she gives out the passes for 6 free
That's
classes,
great.
I think that would be
Wow.
awesome. But I got this through the massage therapist. They are in one of those like groups together, like networking groups. So
that's awesome. That's a
So
good
we
one.
wouldn't want a yoga because I can get a yoga. I use the hot yoga, the Just 26 that's right there. And
Justine?
Yeah. Oh, good. Have you been there?
I did Breathing for 10 years. So yeah,
Yeah.
I went there until COVID, and then I stopped going because
I just started going back. But
Yeah.
if we want a yoga person, I love them. It's woman owned. It's very, very clean. I highly recommend them. I also go to hot yoga in Largo, but they're both actually very close. So if we want a yoga studio, I can.
yeah. I love Bikram. I know she does other classes.
She has
Justine.
different, yeah, she has a bunch of different modalities. She does
Yeah.
a lot of different kinds of yoga.
So yeah, I have no problem with that if you want to contact
Okay.
her.
All right, I'll ask her.
Do you need her number?
I was planning on going tonight, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, then have at it. I'll put it on here.
yeah, I like them. I would like to grow their business. It has a really nice feel to it. It's a nice studio, and they're not all hot.
Where is it?
It's you know where that like little Italian deli is? It's on Walshingham. There's a little Italian deli, which by the way is excellent.
Ippolito's.
I love it. It's been there a long time. Their food is excellent. What else is in there? It's across the street from like Wells Fargo.
The English store, and
Yeah.
there's like nails and
yeah.
And it's called Just
Boxes.
26 after the Bikram. But they do all different kinds of yoga types. And they're good. They have a little,
Cool.
yeah.
Did you hear from Bel Air Coffee?
Not yet. Calm down,
Come on.
Sally.
He's
I
They-
was supposed to stay awake.
We'll stay awake, don't worry. They, like, the manager guy was like, yeah, I'm trying to work with the owner, so he went on a little vacation. Okay. Don't worry, we didn't lose the cord on that one. Still on the radar. Calm down, Sally. They'll bring the strongest coffee and people will be off the walls. Like,
Yeah. That's fun.
they've definitely elevated since the last time we had them.
And then you're
so.
getting those peanut butter balls or whatever. they were.
Oh,
You-
that's Jorg and Lindsay. Yeah, they'll probably make those again.
And the fee is $25 for the table?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have, oh, here.
The sheet said you can print it. off the ink.
I have it right here. In color. You can take one of these.
Cool. Thank you. Great.
And then.
I love the font. I'll try to use the same font on our little, well, you're gonna print it out. so
On the flyer.
you can use
Do
the
it.
font.
You do it.
No, I'm gonna do it.
The more you do, the
Okay,
better.
okay, you're right.
And I'll just
I get
print.
it. Yep, I get it. No, I do, I like the font.
Oh, okay.
Font is very important.
Okay, and the other update that I have was that on Sunday, Surfside Produce closed, so Morgan sold the business to somebody else. So they're reopening soon. So I'm gonna have to like double back with the new owner and see if they want to participate. If not, I'll try Jams, or I mean, there's a million produce markets, but hopefully because they're local and they deliver to Bel Air Beach, that we can get the new owner to continue. And I'll show her a picture of what Morgan did last year with like the samples and her charts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of going slow and steady, which is nice. So by the time it rolls around, we should be in good shape.
Do you have clean eats this year?
Yep, Clean Eats
Are
is
they
good.
open?
Not yet, but they will be. Any day, any day.
I go by all the time, hoping they'll open so I don't have to go to Panera and spend $20 for no food.
Panera's gotten so
Panera is so
I agree.
expensive and you get no food. They put like this much chicken salad on their chicken salad sandwich.
It's very true.
You get no food.
They're struggling. Okay. So everybody good with health and wellness? Nothing else? Okay. Other business. Okay, at a certain point, now this is just like a brainstorming thing. We don't have to decide on it now, but at a certain point we have to decide what we want to keep, because since we were here first, we get to keep what we want and decide what we're going to hand over to the foundation. If they want to do it, then they can. If not, they don't have to. But it was more, Kyle, I'm going to let you cover this just for 1 second, because you were kind of the one that said, oh, it would be better if the foundation did this, this, and this, because it's not that it's easier, but it's
That's restricted.
less restricted than if it's through
Plan.
sunshine law.
Call
Just
each
all
other
of that
up,
stuff. Call each other
Change
up.
last minute.
Yes, and it doesn't, it doesn't all have to be voted on detail by council, because we're not spending council's money or city money. So, but it's still meaning this board, it's still our preference on what we want to keep and like what we want to hand over to the foundation, and then they can kind of figure out what else they want to do from there, if that makes sense. So it's nothing we have to hash out today. We're going to have several discussions on this, and then we'll come to a final list. But it's kind of got to be sooner than later, only because, or it's timely only in the fact that the calendar for the city will fill up with weddings and events, and we have to
Get
pick
like a year
dates.
out.
Yeah. So what the foundation was kind of talking about was doing one event per quarter. And so like say if we do whatever we do, so it could be we're having an event and they're having an event, so we got to make sure that the dates aren't right on top of each other and all that good stuff. So it's not a big deal, but like once we get it kind of set, then we're in good shape and we can all just move forward. Because we can do different things that are more related to the park, the actual parks and the beaches, or like one example that we talked about at beach cleanup this last weekend. So I guess once a year, Pinellas County gives out sea oats for free. And there's one condo that's out there that they were out there planting sea oats, you know, so the erosion of the beach, blah, blah, blah. So it's like maybe for next September, it would be something that the Park and Rec Board, if we wanted, could like maybe contact the heads of the foundations. Because obviously, this group is not going to get out there and plant sea oats for everybody. We got to get buy-in from the condo associations, and we need volunteers. But like, say maybe we can, you know, do the coordinating of it, where like all the sea oats, we can get all the sea oats here. Or I don't know where they pick them up, and this is kind of for later on down the road. But we do more for stuff like that. Like, say if we give our September, we did Jazz in the Park last September. We give that event to the foundation because liquor, blah, blah. Then we do the CO project. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we can maybe branch out and do things like, you know, George, how many Park and Rec boards have you been on? 5 or 6?
Probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, and they've all focused on different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, we kind of went towards the social aspect a little bit. I mean, we did do stuff with parks. I mean, we do the surveys, we do the beach cleanup, we do things with our parks and beach accesses or whatever. But like if we give certain social activities to the foundation because it's more flexible, then we can maybe take on more. And you would be great at some ideas that maybe worked in the past that really made an impact on the city. Or
it seems to me that we should discuss what kind of things would be done by the foundation versus because we couldn't do them here because if they have liquor or something like that, it makes more sense to do through the foundation or some type of program which would raise money. We couldn't do it with our group. That we should sort them all out and say, okay, what's going to work for us and what's going to work for the foundation. And not just pick and choose right now and say, well, we give you this one, we give you that one. We need to give them this one because we can't do it.
Right, and that's a good point because it's like we are trying, you know, with the chili cook-off to sell tickets, but we're not trying to make money. Anything that the foundation is going to be doing is going to be to make money towards a project for the city. And then, you know, everyone will know what that project is. Where we're just saying, okay, thank you so much for being residents. Thank you for being here. We're being social. We're giving stuff away. We're not trying to make any money. The foundation events will be all like we're trying to make money and, you know, here's your tax receipt, whatever, if you want to make a donation or sponsor that event. So that's why, like, we can do the events. We can have liquor. You know, we can do almost everything, but we haven't tried to make any money. So the ones that we could make more money should probably go to them because it's just going to circle back around to the city anyway. It's not like we're trying to make money for things in, you know what I mean, another country. We're trying to raise money for funds that will do something really good in our community. So it's just us picking, like you said, if we don't want to do the social events anymore and all the social events, if we want to take that category and give it to them, and then we do more environmental parky things. And say for example, we only keep the Halloween event and Christmas and Health and Wellness Fair. And then we recreate the wheel. We recreate our, you know, our one thing a month or whatever, or a quarter, into something different. Or we don't. I mean,
yeah, it just seems to me that we need to think through carefully what we want to do with this group versus the complementary group.
Yes.
Not just say, well, we'll take this, we'll give you that, we'll take this, we'll give you that.
Like a conceptual framework, like when if it fits into this category, it's better off done by them, but when it fits into this category, it's better, like what are the...
I think we, in this group,
right.
probably have a feel for what that is going to be,
Sorry, I need to eat.
but I would like to, you know, when we get to that point, say, why are we doing this? Why are we giving up this when it's, you know, something we like to do?
Right.
we don't have to go to the foundation.
Right, yeah, no, we don't have to give up anything. It was just,
Yeah.
there are, like I said, it was mentioned because Kyle said there are things that would be more flexible if they did it, like, you know, where there can be a lot more communication as opposed to everything going through the city and back out.
Yeah, I think any of like those musical events with selling the beer and wine would do better with this foundation doing it. Yeah, the social stuff. They just have a
Also,
lot more
honestly,
leeway.
it's
And we
like-
can't even profit. If
Yeah.
we do profit from alcohol sales, we have to donate it anyways. It's part of our temporary permit stipulation. So, you know, you guys get a, since you're a 501(c), you can just profit all you want because it goes right back into your foundation.
And Kyle did mention that he would prefer if the foundation took over the merchandise sales. Like,
Agreed.
especially, you know, so it's like, and we also kind of discussed like where we would be able to keep things like the towels, the things that don't have sizes, colors. If you don't have a choice, I want
Straightforward stuff.
yeah, I want a
That's not
towel.
big
It's
deal.
$20 and it doesn't take any of their time. That we can keep it here, but everything else will only be sold at a foundation events. So if they want a Bel Air Beach t-shirt or a tote bag or a wrist wallet, they have to come to the event. Because otherwise it's not going to be for sale.
Can
through
I
the
just
city.
ask a question on the liquor sales? Because that one I definitely did not know. So why is it that the city can sell a t-shirt and keep the profit? And I know we're not keeping a profit right now, but we would be allowed to keep a little bit of a markup.
Because
Versus alcohol, we can't keep anything.
alcohol is a special use permit, and it's a temporary permit, and it's just like one of the. If you were gonna be an alcohol vendor,
Yeah,
then you could be set up to be making
okay.
profits
So
regularly.
no profits on alcohol, so,
It's kind of like the quick temporary special event permit.
yeah, okay, got it.
So if we make any profits at the chili kickoff, it's going to be donated to the foundation.
Okay.
Which we won't.
Yeah, and we won't.
Okay.
Not for $5 a drink. Well,
Plus the food, I mean, but we'd probably have to impute what the cost of the drink is, right? Like, we'll find out what the cost of the bottle is and what the cost of the drink is and whether or not we're actually making a profit.
Plus, we got we're paying for the police officers too. That's gonna eat up
We're not
the.
gonna make a profit on that then.
No,
Yeah.
all in all, with the event costs, we're not gonna profit any.
Yeah.
but you can't. Like say we had a blowout and we sold a ton of alcohol, then maybe. But it's a lunch on a Saturday for 2
But I didn't
hours.
think we were even allowing that, right? Because we're only giving them the 2 tickets and that's all they can drink.
Oh no,
Or
then
we're
it
gonna
turns
allow
to a
them-
cash bar.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it came up in a meeting or if it was just a discussion that we had. Like we're not limiting them. Like if you want to have 3 beers, I'm not going to tell you can only, you know, you can buy 1 more beer if you want.
Yeah, it's only a 2-hour event, so hopefully people aren't just pounding.
Yeah.
I
Why
mean-
do we want to do that? I think that's an even more bigger liability because I don't know that we want to do that. Like I don't love the idea of people at 12 o'clock in the afternoon having more than 2 drinks and getting on the road. Like, do we want to do that? It's a different thing if it's a nighttime event. Even then, honestly, I don't want people getting blasted and then getting in their cars. Like, why don't we just limit them to the 2 drink tickets?
Well, our past events, I would say 8 out of 10 people walked because it was a lot of the people that live around here. I don't know. It's up for discussion.
Yeah, it's up for discussion. I mean, I guess the thought was that you're carding people to make sure they're of legal age, and then outside of that, it's any adult's responsibility to be able to control themselves at any establishment.
Yeah, but 2 drinks.
Which events are we talking about?
Just the one, just the chili. That's the only one.
And then how much are we going to charge them for a drink? We're going to have to come up with all of that?
$5 because
$5.
that's what we're charging them now. We're not paying for any of the food. People are bringing the chili,
Right.
so we're basically charging them $5 a drink.
Right, because they're getting 2 tickets for $10.
Correct.
And so they're getting it for $5 a drink.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like a domestic beer or, you know, a glass of house.
I don't know, I just like
Whatever.
the idea of having it be very wholesome and family oriented and stuff, and getting, you know, getting people a little bit drunk isn't necessarily fit on that, but I'm not strongly
I
against
just don't
it.
really think that many people would be
Yeah.
drinking that much.
Yeah.
More than the two.
Yeah, and you know, it's like if you had 2 drinks versus a 300-pound man that you're telling you can't have a third beer, I just, you know, it's like,
It's just a way
It's
of
different.
controlling it. It's like when you go to a company event in the afternoon, you get 2 tickets, you have your drinks, and you leave. And it's kind of the better liability for the city is not to provide an excessive amount of drinks, but I'm not gonna push my personal views on drinking on people if they don't want to drink.
If we do this chili cook-off again next year, where would it be most appropriate to have it? In the foundation or in this committee?
Guess it depends on.
Foundation.
It's kind of what Carol's asking, I think.
No, it's really more about like what you want your, as I said, I go to a lot of corporate events, and you generally, they discourage heavy drinking by giving you drink tickets. That's the way that they control how much you drink, and I don't think it's really any different here. It's like, if you give somebody the ability to drink 4 beers, then somebody like us might be pouring the guy beer, notice he's drunk, and be like, hey, we can't serve you another beer because you're drunk. It gets you into that mess that you don't want to be in.
Most events, especially outdoor events or festivals and things like that, they're not, you know, they're serving beer.
Right.
People
But
keep
they're not
buying
run
it.
by the city.
They're run more by the
Foundation.
Foundations,
Yeah.
but I'm saying there's not, unless, if there's somebody falling over themselves, and that's why you have
Police
off-duty
officers there.
then you'll give them a signal like, hey, this person, you know, it's got.
It's the
obviously-
first one time we're ever doing alcohol. I'm not strongly opposed to it. I didn't know
It's
that
a
we were
12,
going in that direction.
yeah, like a 12 to 2 event. I really think people in the community will keep themselves under control. I mean, we'll find out,
Right.
but I think the majority, you're gonna get
Right.
95% of the people are gonna be responsible, and I think leading, you know, way.
The only other challenge with that is that now we don't know about inventory. Like, how much beer do you need? If you limited it to 2 tickets and you know the person's checking off that I'm getting beer, then you know exactly how much beer to buy and exactly how much liquor to buy, how much wine to buy, because you're gonna have, the only unknown is, are they gonna drink red or white wine? And we could probably manage that.
And we've talked about this, like where we're only gonna open it as we go, because we will return unopened
Okay.
back to the store, so. I guess within reason, whoever's at the bar, you know, like, okay, this person's now bought this many. I mean, in a 2-hour event, and the, you know, being a community event,
Yeah, they're probably not gonna
think
get
we'll be
wasted in front of all of their neighbors.
okay.
But it probably
We're gonna
is.
find something out, I
But
guess.
it's
if-
not limited to neighbors, it's open to.
in the past, it's been basically an unsaid BYOB. And people bring coolers and like, so it's like they could have had 10 cocktails. It's never been like
Right.
Yeah,
an
but we
issue.
didn't
And then
serve
you'll
it to
see-
them.
Yeah, that's true.
We
The
didn't serve
city
it to
of
them.
Bel Air Beach did not serve it to them, so we're gonna
No.
be serving alcohol. And if somebody gets in their car and crashes, then.
Well,
the
that's where we
city-
have the insurance for.
Right, usually you have the insurance, it's just, again, the whole
And I think
trusting people
at
and,
a 2-hour event, if you're seeing somebody drinking a drink every 15 minutes, then I guess we can have a kind of,
it's kind of a
That's
good
what we
test
cut
case
off.
to see it's a small
Yeah.
enough event and to see if it really is a problem, because I was a strong proponent of at least having alcohol at events, because it makes it fun, but it's the control on it that you can really limit it by everybody get 2 drinks and then you're done.
yeah, and I think if you see a problem forming, you know, you can kind of
Yeah.
talk to the deputy working in the event or whatever, if it's gonna possibly be an issue. I don't know, anything can happen anywhere. People can show up to events already drunk, you know. But it's something we'll keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and see how it goes for
Yeah.
other events. And I think it's much better, you're right, but like, if it's the foundation is a little bit, you know, it's not associated, it is associated with the city, but in a very different way. I just,
Anybody else have what do you think, Patty?
Doesn't have to be. I think it's a learning process. I think we'll learn from it, whether we should just do 2 tickets next year or the foundation takes it over next year, we won't have to worry about it. So.
George, what do you think?
I don't know, I have mixed feelings about that. I don't want, if something happens, God forbid, someone has an accident going home and they just came from here.
But that could happen on the 2 drinks, you know?
That's what I'm saying. We're limited to 2 drinks. There's less of a chance of having some problems down the road. If we just open it up and pay for it after our tickets. You know. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about the liability involved.
Well, let me ask you, because I know the city has had events in the past. One was, I want to say 3 years ago, where they had Krabby Bills or something sponsor a beer tent. Did they limit it to 2 beers?
No.
And then I know,
It's just like any business. There's a limit. There's a cutoff point when someone's visibly impaired, but
yeah. Well, I just know the city of Bel Air Beach has had events in the past because the head of the
But they weren't selling. In the past, somebody else, some company was selling it on the ground.
yeah, they were selling under their
Krabby
license.
Bills would
Sure.
sell it under
Sure.
their
It
license.
wasn't their
Okay, that
license,
makes sense.
Not ours.
Right.
But if this is something different. This is where the city of Bel Air Beach is selling alcohol.
And then there was an event.
Well, we used to do the same type of permit in Oldsmar, at Celebrate Oldsmar, and we sold beer. We kept selling it. I mean, if there was an issue, we brought it up to the police. But there was no cutoff. We sold beer to as much as they wanted. And they came up and they were having a good time. And we had insurance and a permit to sell alcohol.
Yeah.
And it's already been decided on that it's a beer and wine thing, and you've already gotten a license, right?
Yes, and the insurance.
So-
Yeah.
We're not gonna change it for this year.
well, we haven't, I actually just went back, and I just want to be clear, because you did take the notes, Nicole, and we had decided, you wrote in the notes that it was beer only. It was beer and
Yeah, I saw
beer,
that too.
and we will have beer, water, and soda. And actually, that limits liability even more, because wine is 15% alcohol, 12 to 15% alcohol. Beer is usually about 4 to 8. It's a much lower risk.
Sure, but
Actually,
you're
wine is-
portioning it per se.
Yeah, I know, you portion it. Yeah, so if we're gonna go back to having wine as well.
They can re-vote or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to revote and make a motion on it, we can do that.
Okay,
And
I'll make a
what?
motion to vote on whether we're gonna have just beer and water. Or didn't we talk about having
Soda, diet, regular.
soda? I thought we had talked about cider, like hard cider for people who are
That
no.
was just,
was
Lloyd
discussion.
mentioned that, I think, because that's what he drinks in place of beer.
Okay, so I make a motion to decide whether we will have wine at the event,
Along with the beer.
along with the beer.
I second it. All in favor of having wine and beer? Aye.
Well, we have to, hold on, make a motion to serve.
I'm not sure I understand the.
So do
And
you
you
want
want
to
beer
serve
and wine, just beer.
Right, or just beer? The reason I do not want to serve wine, to make it clear, is twofold. One, it's harder to manage the inventory because now we're going to have to buy not just beer, but we're going to have to buy wine, and we're going to have to decide whether we're going to have white wine or red wine and store it. And wine doesn't store well. You need to keep it at a right temperature or else it gets really bad. And the second reason is it's higher, it's true.
It's true,
It's
but-
actually true.
No, I know, but I think we can manage it.
Right. And the second reason is it's higher in alcohol, and people are more likely to get drunk, especially because when you drink it, and it's higher, it's just higher in alcohol. It's 15% alcohol.
Okay, so you're making a motion to serve beer, wine, and what else?
So I'm making a motion to vote on whether we serve wine. And
I guess that's the only motion, because like the pop is irrelevant. It's just a choice if someone doesn't want to have alcohol, water, pop, Or they could just drink water. I mean, it's a lot of choices. If we buy a lot of pop, like take the alcohol out of it, it's an inventory thing. So I don't know if we need to offer 6 things for people to drink. If you don't want a beer and you don't want a glass of wine, then you have water. I don't know if people need 6
Yeah,
choices.
They
I
don't
don't
need a whole bunch.
It's our first, I guess, this is the first time that this group has had anything that had alcohol there,
Yes.
so.
Okay, so let's
So we're-
reiterate what the motion is for the
So the motion
15th
is
time.
to vote whether we're gonna.
I would-
Make a motion to
Whoever wants
vote.
wine, make a
to
motion
serve
to
beer,
add
wine,
wine
and
to
soda.
what we're serving. That'd be the easiest way. Because it's weird that you're bringing it up if you don't want it. So, someone should make a
What is
motion.
the motion?
I make a motion that we're.
Okay, I'll do it then.
Yeah,
I,
that we're also.
I'd like
So I could write it down properly and the notes are correct.
Okay, sorry, Nicole. I would like to make a motion to add the wine back in to accommodate people who don't drink beer at all.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Wine.
Aye. So it passes 3-2.
Make a motion to add wine back in
Did George vote?
to accommodate.
He didn't, so I assumed he was a no, because we're just adding wine back
Okay.
Could
in.
have abstained.
So-
but
Yeah, he could have stayed.
Those 2 abstained, and so,
She might have voted no.
hmm?
You can say, I mean, do you want officially vote?
Well, no, it was to make a motion, so.
To add wine back in, so by
Right.
not voting,
Make
it was a
motion,
no.
she moved.
Right.
I move instead of make a motion. I'm a Robert's Rule supporter, right? Roberts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
You gotta ask Roberts next time.
Okay, so anyway, so if you just again to reiterate the point of getting back in this other business is it's for things that we will keep and things like, as George mentioned, like categories of events or whatever, like things that would fall into their bucket and things that would fall into our bucket. And then there's no like, oh, we're keeping this event, we're giving that event away kind of thing, I think was your point, right?
Yeah, what's appropriate is what we should be debating about.
Yes. So we can think about that and talk about it at the next meeting. So it's just something to kind of brainstorm on for the next, to prepare for
And is there anything that we
discussion.
can learn from other cities? Because I know you looked at like the foundation for Bel Air and how, what do they break out? Like what does the Bel Air Foundation do versus what does Bel Air Parks and Recreation do? Like I just went to, last week I went to Dunedin's fashion show. They have a fashion show of the art, wearable art that they have every year. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. And that was Parks and Rec. So
Yeah,
the
but
Parks and Rec,
those cities actually have a Parks and Rec department. It's not just a board.
So that's what, but that's what I
Yeah.
mean, like, do we, like, how do we intelligently decide, like, what is best for the city by looking at some models of who does it well? And I know she spent time looking at Bel Air Foundation. So do they have a Parks and Rec board, and what did they retain that they still handle versus what is,
They probably have an
Foundation.
advisory board, but they also have a Parks and Recreation department, which probably has a special events coordinator. They're just larger. But we can look into it more.
I'm just curious, like,
Yeah.
you know, Indian Rocks, right? So Indian Rocks, do they have, does
I
Indian
don't
Rocks have a
think that- I
foundation? Or
They do have a foundation.
They have a
I don't
foundation?
They have a
think
huge
have
foundation.
Recreation department.
Okay, so maybe how they split it out, because I think it's also, you know, just
They're more
helpful to know how
similar to
other
that.
people do it.
Well, I know that the Park and Rec department in Bel Air, like they have a whole kids camp. They have a whole
They have a rec
baseball
center.
team, a rec center. So it's completely, yeah, it's like they're paid employees that run like daycare, like day camps and stuff like that. So that's what their Park and Rec board focuses
And
on.
they put programming and all that. Kind of like we had at Oldsmar. A
Yeah.
better comparison would be like, yeah, like maybe one of the smaller beach
Like
cities that
Reddington
just have
or,
public works like we do. We have
You know,
public-
like if we think about
Yeah.
it, my mind thinks always visually, you know, if we had to draw columns, what makes sense to retain within this group and what makes sense to, and I hear the points on, you know, things that are gonna create a large profit, you certainly want to go to the foundation, because we're not really here to generate profits.
yeah. No, so yeah, we can figure that out and talk about it and then get our date set. I don't know what the calendar looks like for next year, but hopefully it's not completely,
Get them in quick.
get them in quick, yeah. So, I mean, we can even put the dates in and then figure it out. And does anybody have anything else to add under other business?
I do. So I would like to make a motion to, I'm very bad at this, because I'm still learning, but to vote on, I would like to make a motion to vote on whether we limit it to 2 drinks.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know where you were going.
Yeah, so I want to make, because I want it on the record, because I think it's an important enough thing for us to, like, for important decisions, rather than just say, well, we talked about it, like, actually have a vote on it.
I second your motion.
Okay.
What is the motion?
The motion is to limit to 2 tickets, 2 drink tickets for the event, rather than have us for sale an open bar.
Making a motion to limit 2 drink tickets only.
Yes, so you only have 2 drinks at the event.
So soft drinks or beer?
Excuse me?
Are you talking about all
2
drinks?
drinks, because we did decide to
To
allow.
say alcoholic drinks, that's what he wants you to say.
Okay. Oh, 2 alcoholic drinks.
Because he was like, are you limiting their water and their pop, is what he said.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you. As I told, I'm not very good at forming these motions.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it doesn't pass 2 to 3.
Okay, that's fine.
So
I always appreciate it that when I go to city council that they actually vote on everything and they disagree. But I get to know like who I would vote for next time, you know, based on how they vote. I think it's an important thing to commemorate that we didn't just talk about it, we actually had to vote on it.
That's good.
Yeah.
okay, does anybody, oh, I have one more thing. Okay, so for other business. So attendance policy, I'm gonna ask just for the consideration of everyone in the room and because it's disruptive, if you're going to be more than 15 minutes late or if you have to leave early, to please excuse yourself from the meeting. Because if you're leaving early over and over, it's disruptive, and you know, if you're coming in late, I would just appreciate it just because then you hear everything that we're talking about, and it's just a better flow to the meeting. So I don't know if I need to make a motion on that. Kyle said it's kind of my gig because it's my meeting, so
I don't think that needs a motion.
yeah, so
So you're in charge, tell us.
just, yeah, and I don't
Idea of
mind.
how long the meeting is supposed to be, because I think, I'm not sure if other people work, but I work. I think you work, Nicole.
Listen, we're all busy, and our meetings are usually about 2 hours long.
Okay,
but
so
if
then
you're
that's
gonna
fine.
talk, not you, but if I can't control tangents. So like if someone has like a 20-minute dissertation on something and it makes the meeting last long, I'm not gonna skip the bottom half of the agenda because someone really wanted to talk about something. And I'm not gonna cut anybody off either. So typically we're like an hour and a half to 2 hours, but I can't say that.
I think that's fine. What you just said is fine, to bank on it being about 2 hours.
Bank on it being about 2
I will
hours.
certainly try to clear my calendar.
But I don't want to cut anybody off because like people have good ideas, people have things that they want to talk about and say or express. So I think it's good to not limit the discussions. I can do a 3-minute limit, or you know what I mean? Like so the meeting stays on a specific time agenda, but in the 2 years we've been doing this, we've never had an issue at all. So, and we're all busy and we all have things to do and all of our time is important, but I can't control what, you know, like if we have citizens come in and we have 45 minutes of citizens comments, I can't control that. So I would say
Totally
around
fine to
around
count
2
on about
hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, is pretty bankable. But like, you know, this kind of thing is brand new to us. The alcohol and the chili cook-off is brand new to us. So I would just say when you look at the agenda, when Patty sends it out, as you attend more and more meetings, you kind of know what's going to be more of discussion groups or like things that we need to talk about in more detail. If it's just a quick update on boom, 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 then we might be out of here in an hour. We've had meetings that have lasted that long. So I would say on average 2 hours, but our meetings have been the longest, you know, in the last couple of times than they've been since we started. So, I mean, it's just more people talk. That's all it is. So if we had a full board, like we had the 2 alternates here, and, you know, we had Lloyd and a few more people, then it's going to be longer. I just can't control that. But I'll do the best that I
He
can.
talks too much.
Well, again, he has some good ideas, though. And I like that he's a council member and that, like, you know what I mean? So.
George and I were on the previous board, I think some of those went over 3.
Park and Rec Board
Some of them
meetings?
went long, yeah, they were at nighttime too.
So anyway, with that being said, does anybody have anything else? No? Okay, so then for our next meeting, okay, so I threw out Tuesday, October 11th, or Thursday, October 13th at 2 o'clock. Our meetings are always at 2 o'clock, but I don't know if she wrote that. Yes. So I don't know if you want to check your calendars now, if you want to just email Patty.
Any day works. What day works for you? Eden, let's speak into the microphone.
George?
You haven't said anything at all the last 2 hours. Consider this and want me to speak into it.
Yeah.
I can do either day.
Me too.
All right, so Tuesday the 11th? Okay, got it down. And
You want to
then,
make a motion on that? Motion was made.
I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the next meeting is Tuesday, October 11th at 2 o'clock. And then, just a reminder, because we already voted on this, is the setup for the Halloween event is Friday, October 28th. It's on your meeting notes at 1 o'clock here. We meet in this room and then we just kind of pull everything out. Kyle's in the process of pulling out the Halloween decorations from last year to see what we were able to salvage and not have to repurchase. So hopefully we don't have to really buy anything. We're going to have to buy new numbers because
Could you say again what, because I have it set up was 3 o'clock for that.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what you said, 3 to 6. It's really 4 to 6. but
no,
then-
on Friday.
On Friday.
On Friday.
For the Friday before you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bottom.
And it's 4 to 6 is the actual event.
Yeah.
We get there an hour early that day.
Yeah, 3 o'clock on Sunday. She didn't put it on here. But 3 o'clock, or I didn't, I guess. October 30th, 3 p.m., and then the event's 4 to 6. But there will be I mean, obviously we're all here on that Friday, and I'll reiterate it again, that we need to be here at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
The weather's good.
If the weather's good.
Patty sent us an email reminder or something.
Yes. Yeah, she'll send out an email reminder of all 3 with the agenda. So they'll be on there, and like they always are. Okay.
Who wants to make a motion to adjourn the
I'll
meeting?
make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.